that's the one.
We're just going to go ahead and go live now.
All right.
As Markeia has passionately declared that we are going to kick the ass of Samwise Gamgee tonight. So, somewhere, I'm just picturing a hobbit on the other side of the screen, sweating in terror.
Mr. Frodo!
We did say this was a horror game. Oh no, Mr. Frodo!
Oh no!
On behalf of all Sams, don't you dare!
Samicide. Welcome, everybody, to Before the Gate, our very serious, very tone appropriate, very not laughing, no jokes about slaying hobbits game about what is this? What does this look?
Protect at all costs.
I liked it better when we were at GNS and you were across the room. There was no threat of death. But I don't know if y'all can tell now. Sam is right here.
Yeah.
And
this is better for me, though.
Oh, is it? Okay, great. Yeah. Just so many. If this was shielded tomorrow, there'd be so many like wooden pencil shards like in my neck. So welcome back to our second episode as we get rid of all the giggles in the beginning of the game. We're back. This is our part 2 of our 6-part game Before the Gate, which is Geist, the Sin Eater's second edition, a game that is going to be released pretty soon, I think. I have to go and check my calendar again. I actually haven't seen it, but it's on Backer Kit right now and published by Onyx Path, one of the buddies of White Wolf. You can definitely check out their stuff. I highly recommend you giving the book a good read. It is available on PDF. Real quick before we start tonight's game, just a quick couple of things we wanted to get out of the way first. I didn't get a chance to do this last game in our premiere when we were starting things off, but I just wanted to extend my love and appreciation to QueueTimes for hosting our new little game session here. I think I can go ahead and tell you guys now that you can look forward to seeing some more content in 2020. So definitely think about that Amazon Prime sub and that good old YouTube sub. So keep an eye, weather eye on the horizon, as they say.
Do they say that?
They I actually haven't heard that since Orlando Bloom said it in Pirates. It's been a while. He whispered that into Keira Knightley's ear. Yeah. Anyway, so tonight, before we jump into, do we have any announcements we wanted to jump into? Anything you wanted to say before we started tonight's Tale of Terror?
Very important.
Yes.
Yes.
So my horror podcast, the Something Scary podcast, which we have an animated horror series that goes up every Tuesday at youtube.com/snarled. And then there's also an audio podcast that same day where I read additional stories. We have been nominated for a podcast award with Digital Hollywood.
Oh my gosh!
Yes. So I mean, I've got it pinned on my Twitter. If you go to at Markeia McCarty. Or you just go to digitalhollywood.com/podcast awards, and we're under the horror and indie art setting, and you will see Something Scary. It's with myself and my co-host Sapphire Sandalo.
Sweet.
So I mean, if you'd like
How
to
many
vote,
times can I
vote?
vote?
I think everybody can just do it once.
Do a big heck and vote.
So it's not like Measure Z, where you just click on it a million times.
It's like, or you have, Hakeem Sophia
you
do
have,
whatever
votes.
might have happened.
Go vote. You only need to vote once.
Yeah,
Exactly. Voting closes on November 1st. It'd be great to add award-winning to the podcast. So.
Open a tab, split a screen.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then for me on Monday nights, they've been airing We're Live Frontier over at Geek
That's
and Sober.
right. Yeah. Oh man, that's so good.
Yeah, and this is the first time that they're airing it live on Twitch, and so we're starting with season 1. They're going to be doing season 2, and then every week after they're adding it to their YouTube channel, so you can catch up. And it's the time for spooky stuff. So
I'm trying to think of a way to reference my favorite moment in that show.
Oh,
there's no way to do it without spoiling it.
Yeah,
there's just no way to do it.
Yeah, it's very good. I think
it's
so.
fun.
It has Xander in it. That's the pitch.
It was one of my favorite things that we ever did.
Yeah.
On that channel. Yeah, it was really good. I wish I had been. I wish I had been. One of the people that died in that game. That would have been wonderful.
No one dies. What are you talking about?
Oh right. No,
Everyone stays.
I thought it was
perfectly
called
alive.
We're Alive.
Oh
right.
Right?
Yeah, but fans of QueueTimes can see Alcuin, who is part of Uncommon Trust.
That's right. He's in We're Alive.
He's in B-Dave is in We're Alive eventually. B-Dave. And then Anjali Blamani, who plays Symmetra on Overwatch, and maybe some other Overwatch cast members.
Bastion and Symmetra and Widowmaker.
Oh, you're just naming characters?
No, those are the 3 that I hear people screaming about more often.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, getting your ass kicked by those 3.
I'm a symmetric main, so...
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're the troll
I'm one of those.
It's
Anyway.
it's crappy until you're on my team, and then I love it. How about y'all? How about y'all? You got any announcements?
It's Diwali this weekend, so celebrate that. Triumph of light over darkness, which is very in game with this, but that's the only announcement I have right now.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And speaking of Alquin and B-Dave, you can catch the Uncommon Trust and a few guests for the series finale. The season finale, of Long Beach by Night here on QueueTimes. That's Sundays from 12 to 3 Pacific time. And it's oh gosh, it's gonna go so fast. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, it's gonna burn down. For what?
Dark Horse giveaway though. For
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to lay that
Sunday.
out?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this.
No, you got this.
Dark Horse, we're doing a giveaway at Saving Throw this weekend. We're doing Good Omens, which is insane, but then also we've got like cool prizes to hand out
This
to
is
people.
the first time
Yeah.
Tempting Fate
It's
has
insane.
had like a grown-up sponsorship.
Yeah.
And we're very, very, very excited. So please come support twitch.tv/Saving Throw show at 5 to 8 p.m. PST on Sunday.
Yeah,
And win
because
some
we're
cool
giving
Neil
away
Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman library packs.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like I've heard of
well
it.
worth it to,
Yeah.
to tune in. Only for
Sounds
that. And then say for our wacky Neil Gaiman-esque characters
Yeah.
we invented for this game.
So excited.
Oh man.
That's what we got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone feel good? Everyone ready to start tonight's little ghost story?
I'm sorry. There was one more announcement that I forgot.
Yeah. What's up?
I'm excited.
You shouldn't be.
Oh
That's not a good sign. He's never said that before.
no! Stay whimsical.
You haven't sat this close to me before.
It's true. That's true.
Too close.
It's not much of a threat, though. You should not be excited. That's a bad thing to say for everybody involved in both playing and watching the game. Let's go ahead and begin tonight's ghost tale of Before the Gate. Welcome back. And we are going to start tonight's game real quick. I see that we are going to do... We all remember where we left off in our first episode.
oh, yes.
Because I got a recap for you.
Great.
You're like, thank God. Yes, indeed. All right. So, when we last left off, we were in Golden Gate Park. Now, what got us to Golden Gate Park was a series of events that had some extraordinary events leading up to this moment in Golden Gate Park. Namely, the fact that you had all traveled to the underworld and had returned. Quite extraordinary, the journey to the underworld. Only your second time, I believe, going down into the depths of the land of the dead, where you have a contact, a man named Niles. Niles is the community leader of a shanty town called Second Block. You went down there to discuss possibly getting some information, asking some questions about a loved one that may possibly be wandering the underworld, and in general, just to make further connections. Being dead and living this new life, as it were, it has become something of just a part of your existence that you cannot ignore. The underworld is now a part of your existence. It's not a story anymore. It's there. You found an Avernian gate in a graveyard, and entering into it, you descend into the cavernous depths. The information that you learned down there, for the most part, didn't really yield any groundbreaking results. If anything else, what you did get out of your trip was that you all cemented and further, I would say, strengthened some of the relationships that you have been building slowly with the people of Second Block. Some of the ghosts down there are a little more self-aware than most ghosts are. They're a little more conscious of their own reality. They're not locked into this behavioral pattern of repetition and survival. A lot of the ghosts in Second Block have been in the underworld for a while, and they have formed this community and are getting by their day-to-day lives. So that was the big travel event. The other big event, of course, was...
The bigger event, really.
The bigger event, really, was your contact with an Instagram yoga model named Bindi Becca, who hosts 1.5 million followers on Instagram.
Ooh, I didn't get a number last time.
1.5 million.
Oh.
Yes, she's
That's
doing quite well.
That's a massive jump since session 0.
Yeah. What has she been doing?
Well, the storyteller did some research and realized, okay, cool. These people get really big on Instagram. Bindi Becca is... Bindi Becca is a woman in her early 20s. She has made quite the name for herself, posting videos of positivity and promoting her own brands of like t-shirt and yoga pants and taking lots of selfies, doing yoga poses on like mountaintops and beaches and whatnot. She's got a downward dog pose and like off of like, you know, Mount Baldy here in Southern California and other landscape and like areas where it's difficult to get to. And
that's peak Becky.
Ooh, she gets mad if you say that. It's definitely Becca.
She gets mad about it.
Now, Bindi Becca contacted you,
yes,
to Malibu Medium, because she believes she had a supernatural event. Yes. And when she showed you pictures after meeting her, you discovered that it was actually a legitimate encounter. She seems to have encountered a ghost. Now, this is particularly pertinent to all of you because the 4 of you have formed a group, a crew, as it were, Krewe. And as a result, the 4 of you are working together along with your Geist, this dead thing that's followed you around and brought you back from the other side of death. It has become important to you to help ghosts reach their final resting place. You've done it a few times now. In the course of doing it, you've come across someone who has been nicknamed Sam McGee. No one knows what his real name was, but he is kind of taken to the name. He goes by another name, but no one really knows what that one yet is either. It is mostly the name that some folks have uttered in the underworld. It is his Reaper form. Sam McGee is a Reaper, a creature that was once a ghost, but now has evolved past just the standard power level of a ghost. As I kind of visited in our first episode and explained, if you could tier ghosts in power levels, ghosts usually go up to about rank 4. When they can go higher, of course, but when you hit about rank 3 and 4 is when you get into the territory of your Geists, which are characterized as death gods, mini death gods. They have transcended. They have become more than just a ghost. Reapers are kind of a cut above that. They typically start at around rank 4 or 5 and are very dangerous, even to a crew of Sin Eaters. You've had an encounter with Sam McGee. Your encounter with the graveyard seemed to be cordial, but the 4 of you know damn well that Reapers are no friends to Geists or Sin Eaters. The Bound, another word for a Sin Eater, the Bound are typically an enemy of the Reapers. They see the 4 of you, any of your kind, as something of a slight to the natural order. Anything dead belongs in the underworld, for the underworld to devour in its own time.
And he lied about not seeing my wife.
And apparently he was dishonest about an answer that he gave you in regards to seeing your wife, who also has died. So trying to track that down, all you know about Sam McGee is that aside from having a very peculiar and very unsettling appearance of an old prospector or coal miner who's dressed in wools from the early 20th century, late 19th century, he has a reputation even among the people of Second Block. He is very dangerous, even for a Reaper, and you have all been cautioned to be very wary of him. Golden Gate Park is where Bindi Becca said she had this encounter where she took a picture of herself doing a yoga pose near to what she thought was a redwood tree, and there was this strange man in the picture. Upon arrival and snooping around, you did indeed come across an area that it seems to be haunted. It seems that this gentleman, whoever he is, you've encountered him. He has emerged. Cannot be seen by Bindi Becca at this point, but has emerged from his place where he is confused. And we'll get to him in a second, because the other thing that took place is just as you encountered him, you, specifically Betha, realized y'all were all being watched. And you followed your gaze over and spotted Sam McGee about 60 yards away on the boundaries of the shaded area, the forest. A distance away, pretty much where you all entered, watching all of you with a big yellow toothy smile and a couple of missing teeth underneath this wiry ancient beard, strings out in all directions. That is where we're picking up tonight's game. You are standing in front of this gentleman who, he is the ghost that you've encountered, that you've begun to speak to. He's in a state of confusion. There's a couple of things about this encounter that's already begun to sink into all of you. Namely, the fact that you can see his clothing. He has jeans that look like they may be like light bell bottoms, old sneakers, have designs on them that clearly are not used anymore, not even for the people who like the retro styles. Wearing a jean jacket and a button-up shirt that has stains all over it. You can't really identify what they're from. It doesn't appear to be blood, though. He has luxurious brown hair that cascades down to his shoulders and a mustache across the top of his lip. Everything about the way this man presents himself would appear that he is probably died somewhere in the early 80s, late 70s, is what you're getting from him. Very handsome for a guy probably in his mid-20s, 25, 26 years old. His soft brown eyes have become sunken to the point where the visage of death is very apparent on him, but it also seems to carry something of evidence of how he died. He looks sickly almost. His eyes are pulsing with blood that no longer flows through the veins. You know that this is a representation of how plasma is currently flowing through his form. Now, as we jump into the narrative now, I want to take a quick pause and also remind the audience that we have a consensual understanding here at the table when we're dealing with mature issues like death and creepy crawly things and things that are kind of gross, because sometimes that's where horror takes us. We all kind of came to an agreement about what is and is not comfortable, and every now and then we might stumble upon that and we will flag each other down with cards that we don't have in front of us, but don't worry, just raise your hand and give the finger shake and I'll get it. But one of the boundaries to give you guys as a quick example that we have is Sam don't like the description of slimy plasm.
It's gross and makes me feel icky.
Particularly because in Geist the Sin Eaters, the way you regenerate plasm, earmuffs, is you ingest it. You eat slime. You eat the stuff. I was going to say. So the other part is, we have a signal where Sam puts on the earmuffs, and when I'm done, I signal Sam again. Or Sam can remove the earmuffs in the middle of the description and risk the pain of my discussion. So I highly encourage this with every game, and anyway, there you have it. So let's go ahead and jump into the narrative now. So this gentleman is standing in front of you. You were in the middle of talking to him. He's referenced somebody named Bookie, and he seems quite confused. You're not even entirely sure this gentleman knows he's talking to somebody, because every time you've addressed him or tried to get his attention, he seems to talk past you. However, your Geist, which hovers near, has taken a keen interest in him. None of them are approaching him, but they're watching with curiosity. Everybody is rather focused on what's happening, including Bendy Becca, who sees all of your friends gathered in a circle, talking to no one.
I'm going to continuously
try to
distract her.
Yeah. So as all of this is happening, and you're pulling her aside, and like the camera would kind of pan over to where we see you staring at this Reaper 60 yards away, watching you.
And I guess my first thought...
It is, by the way, quick reminder, it is about 11 in the morning, I believe, 11:30 in the morning.
That tracks.
Okay. Yeah.
Cold fall morning in San Francisco.
My very first thought is to go, no, Bo! No! Bo.
So, Bo, next to you. He is... the interesting thing about Bo is the way he manifests his anger is always sort of an aura effect. The other Geists, you know, have a very... visual cue when they get upset or angry. For example, Miss Lily, which is Ivy's Geist, she tends to look very disapprovingly like an angry teacher. the ticking man. Well, the ticking man, it's hard to tell when he's angry. Let's hope
He's always angry.
However, Bo, the creepiest thing about Bo is how absolutely normal he would look if he were not constantly shrouded in an inky black cloud that is swirling about him, almost like he is being dipped in a water filled with black ink. His hair even flows gently around his face as if he were underwater. Aside from that, his white as a sheet complexion is the only other thing that clearly signifies that he is a dead person. Other than that, he looks like a very well-dressed, very composed Japanese businessman. Upon the sight of this Reaper on the edge standing next to you, you and probably Malcolm can feel this palpable shift of cold as your Reaper, as your Geist responds to the presence of the Reaper with rage.
Mm-hmm. I look over at Mal. No, not.
Why don't we go to the road?
Oh,
and
I saw so many photogenic opportunities. You're photogenic. They were photographic opportunities.
We might even be done for today if we wanted to call you an Uber.
Indeed, yes. Perhaps you should.
Do you need to do this on your own? Do you need to do you need your space to
Yes.
do you need me for anything?
Yes.
It's very sensitive,
Okay.
and we're contacting the other side. We don't know if this is a malicious spirit or not, and so it would be safer.
Oh, it might be very malicious.
If you were to vacate the premises.
And in fact, here, take my card. Remember, Craven Crystals,
sure.
She takes
proprietor
the card.
of that. You can stop by any time. And we're very big with celebrities. We're going to have a celebrity lounge.
DM you, okay?
Probably in our second location. But for right now.
You start leading her away.
Yeah.
You can tell she's really uncertain about all of this. As you're leading her away, she's kind of giving you this not the side eye, but kind of like a little confused. And those two begin to step away. Where exactly are you leading? Because the way you came in, which is where she is inclined to go, is an old man standing there. Yes.
Yeah. I mean.
Do you know, I was reading the psychic energy of this particular location, and it reads in a way that it is best to never go where you've already been.
I was getting that too.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're gonna be rolling.
That's fair.
As the two of you desperately try to juggle this instance of trying to get this influencer to suddenly not be interested in her own case and get the hell out of here. So go ahead. I'm gonna set the difficulty of this at a straight 2.
Okay.
So instead of this being
a gay 2.
All right, I guess.
Sorry.
No, you will do it.
Mahamo.
This once. But I just got through my homework. Took me a second. I'm in ghost mode. What do you want?
Right. Sorry.
So as you are so you're gonna be trying to pull her away to try to you're trying to convince her to, hey, go this way. Are you trying to get her? Are you trying not to get her to leave the same way she came in? That's basically what you're trying to do. Okay. So normally this would be a contested roll. For ease, though, let's just go ahead and paint this as a situational thing. She's a pretty smart young woman. I'm going to set the difficulty at 2.
Okay.
So if one of you wants to make the roll, and then I will let it be an assist. And also, don't forget, you can spend willpower to get +3 dice to this roll, too, as well. If you feel so inclined to spend willpower.
Just saying, I think I should make the roll.
Okay.
I'm a people person, and I
am also a people person.
I'm just
what
saying,
are
I
you
have the skills that it might benefit.
Fine, I shall assist.
Okay.
Maybe.
So go ahead, and just for now, we're going to use our sort of house rule default of just gain an extra die for the assist.
Okay.
And we will, because you have socialize, right?
I do.
Okay.
I have and then also I'm going to give her a palm-sized amethyst. That's going to be my assistance with this. It also has the address of my store embedded on the side.
You should roll.
You should roll. Mm-hmm.
Usually.
Who wants to roll?
I should roll.
Okay.
I will give you an extra die in an assist.
Difficulty 2. It's not easy.
We haven't found out yet.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
Which skills?
Oh, this is going to be a manipulation plus persuasion check.
Oh,
Oh.
excellent. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I can do that.
go ahead and check that then. Make your check.
Oh, yes, I can do that indeed.
Plus an extra 1.
Right. So that'd be a 6.
Okay, cool. Damn it, I forgot my glasses tonight.
So am I.
Okay, so that's 1 success.
Okay.
That's what
Okay, so with 1 success,
Yeah.
that is in fact a failure.
Mhm.
So
Is there anything I can burn? I think
Oh,
it's-
willpower. Yes.
so
If you
willpower
it's a pre-call in this.
is a
Oh.
recall. You spend it to gain extra dice.
Got it. Not rerolls.
Not rerolls.
Understood.
Yeah. One at a time,
Any
free dice.
mechanic that we have for reroll for anything, can I sacrifice Bo?
It's okay. We're fine.
So you hand her this crystal, and you see the more that you are trying, the more you're actually pushing her away. You've handed her a card, you handed her a crystal. The two of you are trying to put. She goes, hey, she kind of does this thing and goes, "Thank you. If you want to take the space, you can. But this was my story.
Yeah.
So if you're
yes.
thinking about trying to shaft me on this,
Uh-huh.
or like,
I
thought this was a collab. So if it's
Yes.
not,
Uh-huh.
I need to know.
I'm being very honest with you. You endanger girl. I don't know if you've seen Ghost. You need to leave.
Malevolent
Uh,
ghost.
I will let you make a manipulation check.
Great.
If you want this to be intimidation, it works. But I'm guessing your character has 0 intimidation.
Well, not 0.
Really?
Yo, it's 0.
Okay, I was about to say. I was trying to imagine Malibu Medium pulling a Rambo on somebody. So, then I would say make a manipulation persuasion check.
Persuasion.
It's my second highest.
Do I add 1 for an assist too, or just me this
no,
time?
I'm not going to
Okay.
give you an assist on this.
Totally
This
fine.
is just, a straight, not straight roll. See what I did?
2 successes.
You got it. Okay, so the way you say it to her, it gives her some hesitation. And as she's sitting here thinking about this, what are some of your Geist's abilities? Would you mind sharing those with me?
Not at all. Let's
So
see.
your Geist's name, go ahead and give
Is-
for the audience.
Yeah, my Geist name is Lucky Rabbit's Foot.
So it's a small child wearing a creepy 1940s
Yeah.
Halloween rabbit mask.
Right. Think
Okay.
like the Grudge
Like a
Boy.
little plastic. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
small.
So what are some of the abilities that your Geist has?
So, Lucky Rabbit's Foot, it has high speed, and that's like a skill that he has.
Right?
Also, Regenerate, which is good for regenerating
Yeah.
damage.
Pretty good for you.
Innocuous, which is like aura.
Right.
So perception rolls against him are penalized by 2 dice, and
Okay.
it's always active.
So it's very difficult to spot.
Yes.
Okay.
Proxy allows the ghost to lend its own manifestations, numina, or influence to another ghost. So
Oh,
it's-
that's cool.
yeah.
So you can hide that other ghost if you need to.
Yeah,
Cool.
or any sort of buff, because I also have regenerate, so
Right.
it can proxy regenerate
Oh,
myself.
your support class in it.
Very much.
Nice. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
and then emotional aura it lasts for a senior activation of another numina. If activation roll is more successes, victim suffers -2 dice penalty on all actions.
Okay, so we'll just do this. I was going to see if we could use an ability to directly affect this, but what
Yeah.
we will do is use, if I remember correctly, Bo has a manifest ability. Does I believe Bo has some kind of manifest ability? Is that correct?
Yes, Bo has a number of things.
Well, essentially what happens is this, almost to like punctuate what you're trying to say, you all begin to feel something of like a cold ripple in the air, like a wind. It feels like the wind in the underworld. It's coming from nowhere. It's going to nowhere. It doesn't blow your hair. It just moves past your skin. You're aware of it for a second. And for a brief moment, all of you hear.
I grab Bendy Becca's phone
She
out
goes,
of her hands,
you grab it out of her hands. She goes, what the fuck?
and I throw it in the opposite direction as far as I can.
What the fuck? And she dashes off after. What the fuck, man? What is going on? And she rushes to grab the phone.
Yeah.
You all watch this transpire, and you hear the cackling laughter of an old man, half 100 yards away. She goes into the dirt and picks it up, and you see this look of anxiety on her face as she continues in the opposite direction. looking at you like you're unstable, and continues moving off.
Well, I think that went rather well.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it right now. We got to do something.
I believe that Sam has more than likely come for the ghost that we need information from and that we're trying to help. I don't know if this will end in a very nice conversation.
Should we try to distract him away from them, or should we let them gather the information? Should we gather together? Should we leave? Just tell me what to do.
I think that myself and Juliet should go and confront Sam while you and Ivy continue to get information from the ghost.
Okay. You sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay,
Do you think I know what I'm doing?
No.
I don't at all.
Okay, I'll follow you though. So we'll walk over.
So we'll walk over to...
Okay.
Calmly.
Very calmly.
Lucky's rabbit foot, by the way, is you can feel the little fingers of this Geist. If anybody else was around you, they might notice that your genes are being manipulated by something that's not there. But in truth, there is a Geist that is actually physically interacting with you. Specifically trying to keep you between him and Bo, who is walking very calmly next to you, but has this face, this face that just, there is clearly a rage boiling underneath Bo as he's glancing in the direction, constantly looking back over at Sam, who is standing there still, slapping his thighs. He's watching this.
I understand, Bo. I get it. But you're not helping. I feel everything that you're doing, and it is driving me nuts. So
Okay, we all need to
His
calm
head
down.
shoots back and looks at you. You get the impression he knows you're shouting at him, but he doesn't understand why. He stops and stares at you for a moment.
Just calm down for a second so I can think. It's difficult to think when you get like this. Just please, can't you understand me even just a little bit? Every night I've been trying to talk to you.
Calm down. We can't.
I'm fine.
You are all starting to hear her start yelling at Bo. Bo, at that point, stops and stares at you, and his mouth cracks and unhinges from the side of his face. And you watch his jaw leave his head and slowly float down to his neck bone as he just... You see this tongue of shadow begin to, like, snake out in front of you, and his face begins to contort into rage.
Fine, just be angry then.
That's a new trick.
It's kind of cool.
Oh.
Y'all are all witnessing this.
Yeah. Ivy, I think we should leave Bookie. No, that's not his name. He's
Bookie
looking for
left.
Bookie.
Yeah.
But
I see.
okay,
that.
good. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yes. What's going on with them? Go find out.
Okay. Yes.
I'll stay with not Bookie.
Okay. I'm gonna book it.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I'm a little bit impressed. I mean, this is the first time that he's actually shown a whole lot of emotion. So this is a step in the right direction.
Hi. Okay, so we see this, right? Great with the phone throwing. I couldn't have thought of anything more brilliant.
I don't
What?
understand.
We have to get out of here.
Right? But that's
Yes.
the way out.
How do we get the ghost to go with us, though? Should I just have... I mean, I don't think Bo is going to be able to do what we did in the underworld and just grab him
Can
so
we
that
try?
we can go.
Can we try? Because I
Do
definitely do
you
not...
see this?
Oh
Do
my
you
God.
see what is happening right now?
Bo, what is going on? What is Ticking Man doing?
Ticking Man is, of course, in his incredibly creepy fashion, is moving like a clay animated puppet, just kind of sticking around and shifting to the left. Watching all of this is happening, Ticking Man looks... If Ticking Man is concerned, you're only capable of discerning that he's concerned just by the fact that his elongated head is constantly looking back and forth between all of the Geists. Geists communicate with each other the same way they communicate with you. They just try to figure it out. They don't know what's happening. They don't have this energy with the other Geists. They can only read off of that emotional energy. So he's watching and watching.
Okay, great. Thank you for once for not making this harder.
I
Okay.
think I have an idea.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm just going to say, Bo is not the problem right now. We know what the problem is. The problem is that one,
Yeah.
Sam.
Yes, I
Sam
know.
McGee.
Yes.
So at this point, because up until this moment, you guys actually had not noticed him standing there. So she has just now pointed out that the Reaper is here.
Oh, great.
That's
Oh,
why.
great.
So about from where you are now, it's about 70 yards from where you're at now, because you're over by the tree, closer to the ghost.
Yes.
Bo is in battle mode and kind of pissed at me right now.
I do want to give you one thing, because I noticed something that you had said before. It's Golden Gate Park. There's a lot of ways out of here. You can just walk out just anywhere you want. It has dense foliage.
Yeah.
Lots of trees, but you can leave in pretty much any direction. There's a path that you guys specifically walked down because Ivy needed a nice path to get down there. Unfortunately, some of the other ways out are a little further away.
Well, obviously we're not going without Ivy.
Well, no,
Of course we're not going without Ivy.
I think I might be able to communicate with this ghost and maybe get it to come along with us, but we need to ensure its safety.
Let's do it fast.
Okay.
Let's just do it fast.
I don't know if it's going to work, but
If it doesn't work, then I'll just have Bo grab it. Somehow.
Okay, well, let's go over there.
Okay.
Um,
Getting the ghost to come with us is, in fact, what Ivy and Miss Lily are working on.
okay. While all of this is happening,
Yes.
you have been attempting to communicate with this guy.
Yes.
He is currently leaning up against the tree. Now, the way this ghost is manifest, it resembles, he's not translucent per se. It looks like there is something ethereal about him, for sure. But since you can look into twilight, he seems like a real person who's been dead. He doesn't have the healthy, coloration to his skin and the sunken eyes, everything. However, he still walks and acts like he is very much alive. He, as you've been trying to reach out and communicate to him, he's currently putting his hand on the tree, and you're watching him throw up.
Yes.
Now, nothing is actually coming out. He's not actually throwing up anything, but you're actually hearing it.
Yeah, someone has shirt as well.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good conclusion. And when he comes back up, he wipes his mouth and just goes, "Oh man, did I get any of my... Is it in my mustache? Did I get any of my mustache? Oh, I want to get my mustache.
All right.
It's all over me."
Hey.
Make a roll.
Yes.
This is a manipulation persuasion. Actually, if you want to use charisma here too.
Yes.
Yeah, you could do that because you're basically trying to bring him back as opposed to...
Yes.
Yeah.
I also, for what it's worth, have a specialization in command, though that's typically tied to my intimidation.
Yeah, are you commanding him or are you just trying to get his attention?
Aura of command. But I'm happy rolling.
Okay.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 successes. It almost causes you to jump, but his body is it like blinks into another posture. As I like to say in my descriptors, a bad edit. Like he snaps to where all of a sudden where he's in the middle of just like wiping his face off, and then he's walking, looking around, no stain on his shirt. And he looks like he's waiting for someone.
Are you looking for Bucky?
Hey, have you seen Bookie?
Yes, just this way. Will you come with me?
Yeah, who are you?
I'm Ivy. I'm a colleague of Bucky's. We have to go now. It's a bit of a hurry. He's waiting for us. Come on.
He looks concerned for the moment and looks back and says,
Plans had to change. I'm sorry.
"Okay, it's just that this..."
I have the right guy, right? You were looking for Bucky, weren't you?
Yeah, I was looking for Bookie.
All right. Well, do you want to do it or not?
Did Bookie send you here?
Yes. Of course, Bucky sent me. This
Have
place
I
is
seen
too
you
hot.
Before?
I mean, were you at the concert?
Concert? Was I at the concert?
Think about it on the way.
Sure.
Come on.
All right. Yeah.
I'm going to start going up the path.
With 4 successes, this ghost seems convinced that you're the real deal. and begins to follow after you, and seems to retain his form. Doesn't seem to collapse, continues to move with you freely.
Yeah.
Away from this tree and away from the area in which he was photographed and found. Like a lost soul almost. Walking right behind you. You're all watching this, by the way, as you're like, we need to deal with this goat. And you're watching Ivy. Man, your biceps are burning. Oh right, your triceps are burning as you're pushing through this soft soil. However, thankfully, you are getting closer and closer to one of the. It looks like there's actually a concrete path that leads up and out, but it's a good distance. On the path, not too far away, but the concrete path leads some distance away.
Oh, I couldn't be close enough. I'm looking back to the group with I've run out of grail on this game plan.
Great. Perhaps we just go.
Okay, let's go.
Run.
Perhaps
This isn't the cowardly thing. We're doing the right thing.
It's not a cowardly. It's not a cowardly thing.
It's
In
not.
fact, it is a smart
We're
thing.
playing
It's
very
very
logical.
logical.
How you
back
play
at
nice.
them, you will have, as you're leading away and you look back at your crew, you, at this point, I will say you have noticed Sam is here. And as you all start sort of congregating around and moving closer, your Geist floating or walking stilted after you, you hear, well, now, you don't have to leave.
Oh.
We can talk. Introduce me to your new friend.
Oh, that's quite all right. We so it's such a hurry. May I help you?
I've got it, but thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're fine. Everything's good. Enjoy the park.
It's a tense moment. Because you all just kind of have this moment where everyone's carrying on the pretense that everything was fine. As you move and finally reach that concrete path, Sam is walking parallel to all of you. Looking around at it, just going, it sure is a nice day for a walk in the park, isn't it?
It's lovely, but we've already had our fair share, so we're ready to move on. Have a good one. Enjoy your walk.
You hear a slapping sound coming from a ruler up against a palm. And you see a very irritated looking Miss Lily slapping this ruler against her palm repeatedly. You're not sure if it's nervous or rage, but she's just tapping it. And again, as is typical of her, you can hear, even through the soft dirt, you can hear the clomping of high heels down a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Completely mismatched with her environment. You all reach this path, and as you reach this path, the rage of your Geists that are hovering around you, the closeness of this ghost, and even the closeness, even though it's about 50 yards away now, just from where how the park and the path bends, there seems to be this low, antagonizing, ambient roar building, like the blood rushing into your ears, except for it's constant. The energies of the underworld, of death surrounding all of you, it's all being concentrated very tightly into one area. The emotional state of your Geists is causing the temperature to slightly drop in the areas around you. The energies of death are very present, and all of you are not only aware of its presence, but you're also kind of feeling its power coursing through all of you. Because with blood in your veins also is plasma. Sam seems to be somewhat cognizant of this. You can hear some hysterical laughter as you all nervously move away, but he doesn't actually move to follow you. Mm-hmm. In fact, he stops and just folds his arms and is just tickled. Whatever it is that's causing him to laugh, it seems to be incapacitating as he throws his head back. And it is that typical, almost exaggerated cartoon-like, Looney Tunes Southern coal miner laugh, where he's just just outrageous sounding. And it would be cartoonish if it wasn't actually the authentic thing the which parody is based on. And you hear it echoing through the trees.
As we're moving forward and they're confronting him, I'm going to go up to Ivy.
No, we're all
Okay.
leaving.
Right.
Everyone's
But you were
moving.
talking with Sam.
No, we're...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did you get him to come with?
I am rather used to bossing people around.
And there wasn't any, why did he manifest here at the park? Was there any attachment or anything to an object?
I wasn't able to find one in the moment. He was waiting for someone there. I convinced him we were going to that person. It seemed like the correct thing to do to keep him focused on the thing that was related to his ghost focus thing.
Okay. So as long as we keep up the illusion, then he should come with, right?
Aren't you supposed to know about this?
Well, I don't know. I thought there was some sort of attachment or something.
Well, yes, to this person that he's supposed to meet.
Maybe. I don't know about ghosts that are on a loop, though. I've only...
All right. We're going to get him back to Betha's store,
Okay.
and we're going to figure it out from there.
Okay.
Haight Ashbury is not too far.
Okay.
That laughter is driving me insane, Juliet.
It's particularly maddening because it doesn't sound like he needs to take a breath.
Yeah, and literally Juliet turns around and yells, "Have a good day, Sam McGee."
He's not there. You do not see his body or his
And it's just
form.
like her anger that she feels from the ticking man like comes out, but like it's Juliet, so she's trying to like be polite, but it's
You have to appreciate the drama of it, though.
It's also become apparent to you about no longer citing him is that the laughter you're hearing is actually echoing through twilight and may not actually be heard in the physical world. The first indication that that might be true is that this ghost apparently hears it and is looking around going, far out, man. Like the lungs on this guy, whoever he is.
Pipes, right?
Yeah, man. Oh, I gotta stop for a second.
Oh,
I gotta stop for a second.
are you
And
okay?
He leans up against a tree and starts to throw up.
Oh.
And then he giggles and goes, shit, I'm sorry. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed, man.
Oh, it's
I
okay.
did so much.
Yeah. Oh, you've had a lot tonight, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Are
don't- I
you
think
okay to
so.
keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's
Okay.
go. Let's go.
Yeah. Shh.
Can ghosts be drunk?
Well, it could be the state that they're in.
You might actually know that, Betha, because you have enough. If I remember correctly, you have the lore of the group. Isn't that correct?
Yes, I have the cult of the underworld.
So do you want to go ahead and make a roll? And
Sure.
we can find out.
Let's find
It
out.
might give you some clues as to why this dead young man is manifesting this way. So go ahead and make a roll. I'm going to put the difficulty of this at 1. So it'll be standard difficulty.
So would this be?
I would say this is intelligence plus your underworld.
And because you're specialized in it, you get an extra one.
Oh, thank
That's right,
you.
yeah.
I did forget about that.
Oh, well, actually, I don't know. This wouldn't be underworld because it's not the culture of the underworld. This is literally just a ghost. So I would say
So
not,
just a cult?
it's just a cult.
Okay.
Which, if I remember correctly, that is still pretty strong for you.
Yeah, I have 3 in that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You are
3, and then also
quite
my
adept.
intelligence, which is
Cool. All right, 8 or higher.
Can I sacrifice Bo?
Why do you keep going to that?
Or
I'm
both.
just gonna
Yeah.
not use those dice anymore.
New dice.
Make sure that
will
she
solve
never gets her
all
hand
this.
on a sacrificial dagger of some kind.
Well,
So
she's full of jokes.
you're not entirely sure what it is. So the question is actually appropriate. Like, can ghosts get drunk? Like, when you all hear Betha ask this question, you realize none of you really know.
Yeah.
If Betha doesn't know, how do you find out?
I perhaps there was something that was in the atmosphere where they were, or perhaps it's the loop that this one is stuck in. But
Or
it's just
maybe it's how
a
they
very
died.
specific.
It could have been alcohol poisoning.
Oh goodness.
Overdose.
how bad do we want to know?
Well, let's get him safe.
Let's get him back.
No,
to...
I say this because if he died there,
Yeah.
if I'm in the same spot as a ghost as at the spot where they passed away,
Yeah.
I can usually remember stuff,
Sure.
but it's only when it's in the spot they passed away.
Great.
Do you
I
have to
love
be
I
there
think
with him?
maybe not, but no, I'm not going back there
Yeah.
by myself.
Or today maybe we could do that another
Maybe let's
time.
do it another time when
Yeah.
Sam McGee isn't here. That's a great
Why
idea.
not?
Great.
I mean, but
wait
it's
for
still
Good game
the
plan.
laughter is still going on.
Yeah. Can we
It's still
go?
going on, right?
It is.
We're
It
going.
is. It is becoming more distant. It's sounding more and more like a laughter that's echoing down a canyon wall and vanishing into the distance. But you can still hear it.
Great.
It is fading away, but you are very aware of it. Yeah.
Great. I mean, we can always come back tomorrow, right? It's not like Golden Gate Park is going anywhere.
Nor Sam McGee.
Nor Sam McGee. Oh, God. Don't say that.
Okay. Is J-Man around?
Yes.
Texting him right now.
So we actually can wrap the scene up as all of you are leaving Golden Gate Park.
Great.
It takes you a good 15 minutes to find a path out that is comfortable. You're pretty much aware that you don't hear the laughter anymore. And you are noticing the somewhat tragic looping effect of this ghost having to stop, throw up, and is constantly coming back to it again and again and again. So with that, we can start off. Let's taking into account it was 11 o'clock in the morning on a nice crisp fall morning here in San Francisco. We can cut to your shop. We'll say it's about an hour and 45 minutes later. It's been a while, but if I remember correctly, owning a car in San Francisco is a super bitch.
Also, it's only about a mile and a half from where we were in Golden Gate Park to Haight-Ashbury, where Beth is.
Oh, okay.
Shop is.
That's right. Okay, so then not even close to an hour and a half. It's probably more like 30 minutes, tops.
And business is booming. Our lunch hour goes very well.
If I remember correctly, you had closed up shop a little bit early.
Yes.
Is that right?
Julia, yes.
Okay, so coming in, coming into the store, you have noticed that a few people have left like little torn slip notes in the door of like wanting to schedule appointments. They're all friendly notes. They're just like, "Hey, saw that you were closed. I'll come back in a little while." Yeah, except for the one with like, "I need love advice right now." Where the fuck were you? Like,
Juliet has an Excel sheet with all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that please you, Sam?
It pleases Ivy.
Okay. So making your way into the store.
I feel like we have like a sort of protocol, like when Miss Trunchbull comes into Matilda's classroom, where we're like pulling the things down, hiding some stuff, and like closing down the shop, but we're getting ready for like rituals.
Well, coming into the store, as you enter, you actually see about 20 feet away from the front door near the desk is a male woman. It looks like mixed heritage, Asian American mixed heritage. You all know her. So get ready to write down a name because this is a ghost and a member of your crew.
Yay!
Yes, her name is Ashley Barris. Ashley has been a mail lady on this block since 1987. And she died on her first day as a mail lady. You all are aware that she died, and it does happen, unfortunately, but she was struck by a trolley. Whoever she was in life must have been quite lovely because she is... For whatever it is that's keeping her here, she has such a lovely sense of humor. She's a very glass half full type of person, or at least that's how she comes off. Unfortunately, she is one of these ghosts who manifests in the state of her own death. So half of her face is friendly, the other half is smashed to hell. It is a sight that would certainly drive anybody who is not used to this kind of thing, namely the living who are not Sin Eaters or the Bound, to probably scream in terror and run in the opposite direction or possibly throw up on the spot. But
be polite to disfigured people. Heaven forfend.
her wounds are not... Her wounds look... Let's just say they look active. It looks like they happened recently. So... as you all step in, she cracks half of a brilliant smile and says, "Hi!
Good afternoon, Ashley.
Ashley!
I saw some people leaving notes on your door, so I invited myself in and wanted to make sure they were taken care of. Now, I didn't want to take them off the door because that might have scared some people, so I went ahead and wrote them down here in your book. You have them all listed here. And I have some mail for you."
Yeah, we're kind of busy right now, Ashley.
I'll take the mail.
Very thoughtful.
Sure,
Ashley.
yeah. She pulls out a stack of what looks like soggy brown envelopes and like they've been rained on. Like these have been left out in the field for 30 years, and just sets them down on the counter and she says, go ahead and take those. And
Thank you.
is there anything I can do for you guys? Is there anything that's going on?
Hi.
Oh, he's new. Hello.
I'm guiding
Okay.
our friend toward a place to sit down. I'm going to put a trash can next to him, knowing he won't actually throw anything up, but
Give
he will
him-
look for it every time, and if it's just nearby,
Okay.
then it's more settled.
You pull this chair out as he steps through it. Just walks right through it and then takes a seat down onto it and says, thank you. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And Ashley goes, is he new?
Yes.
Yes, it's part of a case. As like a new client, we're gonna try to help him out.
I'm going to go do my runs. If y'all need anything, send your creepy geists and I'll come.
Right.
Thank you so much. I'll walk you out.
Thank you. That would be
Yeah.
nice. She starts leaving. She's like, I have so much to do today. So much to do.
Yeah?
So much to do.
How long have you lived in this area?
In this area?
Yeah.
I only moved here a few months ago.
Never mind then.
Oh, did you think I was going to know him?
No.
He doesn't look familiar.
No, I was just wondering if you service this particular spot a lot, but I guess not.
No, it's my first day.
No, yeah. Well, I hope you have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Y'all have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
And if you need
Ashley,
me,
you're always so pleasant. See how pleasant she is all the time.
We
all
understand.
the time, Bo.
Bo is just kind of watching, but you do see that passiveness in Bo's face. The ghost is watching, just kind of like, he looks a little confused as she shows her way out. She's like, he watches her step through the door and into the street as you see her situating her mailbag, and she steps right in front of an oncoming trolley, just disappears as the trolley just ding ding moves past the door. And he just goes, it's her first day, but she talks like she's here all the time.
Oh yeah, just not as a mail lady, as a friend.
Apprenticeship, one assumes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, can I borrow this trash can for a second?
That's what it's there for.
And he leans over and does his thing. You see him once again
Gross.
throw up again. And when he comes up, his demeanor has shifted and he looks deathly ill. He just comes up and goes, and he's just making that sort of, it looks like he is in a state where he doesn't care how he sounds. He's not aware that his lip is just hanging low. He's just on the edge of consciousness, swaying back and forth in his chair.
Juliet doesn't like this part. I think that she like kind of separates herself from the group and is like, I'm just gonna hang out back here until he resets.
He doesn't flinch.
Okay.
What is Miss Honey doing? I mean, not Miss Honey, Miss Lily doing?
I did say Matilda
You
earlier.
did.
You see Miss Lily, again, these guys don't really communicate,
Mm-hmm.
but if you want to make an empathy roll
Yeah.
to try to get an idea of,
Yeah.
of the look that she's giving
Yeah.
him right now,
Yeah.
I would say this would be this is a wits empathy check. Difficulty is 1.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Empathy is kind of your thing too, isn't it? You can make 2 if you want to.
Sure.
To see who's picking up on this. That's an exploding die right there.
Oh,
I see
nice.
2 successes. Two
That's an
successes.
exploding die.
It's 8, 9,
no,
and 10.
yeah, it is 8.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not-
I know,
Eight
it's
successes.
Eights are exploding.
No.
No.
They can be, but I have to announce that before the
And
roll.
it's very rare to have an 8 again ability.
Yeah, very,
Okay.
very rare.
Anyway.
2 successes.
Okay. So the both of you get the impression that Miss Lily is looking at him in a way of like, I'll give you this. Both of you are getting a sense of Miss Lily's time period. I mean, Miss Lily dressed like a Stepford wife, so you kind of get the idea that she was probably from the 50s, 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But you're starting to get a little bit of information from the look, the way she's interacting with him,
Mm-hmm.
because this Geist, who, no matter what floor she's walking on, you always hear the echoing footsteps of heels down the hallway. And the look she's giving him with her perfect jet black hair, just swerving just immaculately. Her button-up blouse with the collar, the ruler in her hand. I mean, obviously some of authority, perhaps a school teacher, perhaps a stern mother, you're not sure. But what you definitely get from her now is you get the impression she is familiar with people who look like him.
Yeah.
Because she's looking at him like she disapproves of his long hair. She's giving him that kind of look. Like she doesn't like the way he dresses.
Interesting.
Yes. So this little bitty piece of information is kind of like it definitely kind of, this is one of those moments where it blurs into the line of an investigation check.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, as your Geist, and it's a little slice of information so you can learn more about the creature that pulled you back from death, you suddenly get a chilling sensation of, oh, okay, wait a minute, she's familiar with this era. Like you're able to sort of get a little bit closer to when Miss Lily existed as a member of the living.
Not just angry at the beatniks.
I think that Juliet sees this. She takes a step closer to Ticking Man, but she's taking in the look that Miss Lily is giving this this man, and she like almost tries to imitate it, in the sense that she like cocks her head at the exact same angle and like tries to like see what Miss Lily is seeing, and that's it.
Okay. Ticking Man is doing something unusual.
Oh God. Okay.
You're not sure if Ticking Man is playing right now or if Ticking Man is purposely trying to be unsettling.
Okay.
But
Could be both.
if you can picture a big, toothy Alex Ward smile and eyes like a Felix the Cat clock, just
Oh God. Yeah.
back and forth, Ticking Man suddenly resembles like an early 1920s silent film that's just looping through a piece of a scene over and over. Like those...
Like an actual Nosferatu.
Like a mad hat, like sort of like the Cheshire Cat clock that's constant like doing... And his arms are craned up like this and he's just... You're not sure what the behavior is or why he's doing it.
Right, so she ticks her head and it has this like almost moment with Miss Lily, but then like turns back to Ticking Man and is like, what is going on? Please don't scare him anymore. We're trying to get him on our side. And she's talking to Ticking Man. She knows she can't really communicate with Ticking Man, but I think Juliet still like talks at things.
Okay.
Because that's how she just like expresses herself. It's like she talks to like her car, she talks to like her clothes, she talks to everything. So Ticking Man is just this thing that she talks to regardless.
Okay. He doesn't seem to react to it. You don't know what his deal is.
Yeah, and it's
but it's a
kind of
behavior
freaking
he seems
her
locked in.
out. Yeah. Okay.
And it definitely attracts the attention of the ghost. So he looks, again, like he is in rough shape. What would you all like to do?
I'm going to look down at Lucky Rabbit's foot.
Okay.
And I'm going to...
His behavior hasn't changed. He looks very nervous. He's watching everybody. He's constantly, like, clutching to the side of your leg.
So I'm going to look down at him. Hey, I think we have a chance to help this person. Do you want to give something a shot like we did in practice?
You can see the eyes underneath the mask glancing up at you through the little plastic holes that are drilled into where the rabbit's eyes were. Go ahead. This is going to be... So you're trying to communicate with your Geist.
I'm trying to use a haunt.
Oh, okay.
And so I want this
So you're
to be
flavoring a
part of
haunt?
it.
Okay. So let's go ahead and make the roll of whether or not your Geist understands the haunt roll.
Okay.
So instead of like, does it succeed because you told him what you're trying to do? Instead, go ahead and make the haunt check.
Okay.
And this is our first haunt roll.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
We've been role-playing, but now it's time to check out your Geist's abilities. So,
Would you like to know the ability first?
yes, go,
Okay.
because our audience, now, along with you guys, a lot of us, we are still learning Geist in many, many aspects and learning these cool new abilities that these characters can do. So, let's go ahead and hear. So, a haunt, if you're familiar with Vampire the Masquerade or Werewolf the Requiem, Vampire the Requiem, or Werewolf the Forsaken of the Apocalypse, any of those things, all the supernatural character archetypes have special abilities. In vampires, it would be disciplines. In Geist, it's haunts. So tell us what this haunt does.
Yes. So I'm going to be activating Sing the Dirge.
Okay. I remember you talking to me about this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
and then it's an instant contested roll because it's sort of like a charm type of thing.
Cool. What is it contested against you?
That's what I was looking at. It is versus their composure and synergy.
Okay.
But since it's just a ghost, it might not have synergy.
It gets a resistance roll. So
Yes.
because it gets a resistance roll based on its rank.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I do my synergy plus my dirge dots. Okay.
Okay, cool.
And I'm spending 1 plasm because I can do multiple targets, but
Okay.
it's based on how much plasm I spend. So I'm only spending 1 plasm for 1 target.
Okay, cool.
1 success.
You beat him.
Yay!
All
I
right.
didn't roll a single
Sweet.
success.
Okay, so
All right, so tell me what this does.
do you mind if I take over a little bit?
Sure, please
Okay.
go ahead. Yeah, I love that.
So, whether or not Lucky Rabbit's Foot understands, I make a familiar motion that we have practiced, where I sort of bend down and offer my shoulder.
Okay.
And what has happened before is he would crawl up my shoulder onto my shoulders,
Mhm.
like a kid at a fair or something like that. And as he does this, I sort of straighten up, and he leans forward. And as he does, the mask comes down over my face as well. And what resonates, you see that my mouth is open, but there's sort of like a Tibetan throat singing. So
Right, yeah,
there's
yeah.
sound that's coming out of my Mal's mouth, but it's reverberating through the mask and creating this effect.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a low, like.
That's pretty good. You said you could do it. That's pretty good.
And I have to keep
Okay.
going, and that's how
Right.
long the effect goes. So
Nice.
this is happening, and
That's your breath
basically,
control, Mal.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Um,
Yeah, and so basically, what this does is it grants the dirge condition on this
Oh.
ghost.
okay. What
So I
is
have
the-
it here.
Oh, thank you for being prepared.
Right up there.
Good man, good man.
Aha.
Okay, so you've been caught by the siren song of a Sin Eater's dirge. The effect is you are compelled to listen to the Sin Eater's song, and you understand what emotion or action the dirge is meant to evoke.
Mhm.
If you can act in concert with the intent of the song, you get a +2 bonus. If you act in opposition, condition. Okay, so originally. Okay, cool.
It takes 1 willpower to be opposed to whatever it is.
So the effect of this is essentially to synchronize his emotional state with
Mhm.
what's okay. So you're
And
basically,
basically, I can command an action or an emotion for this ghost to feel.
okay. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. The effect of that low baritone.
Mhm.
You've heard yourself do this before, but what's amazing to all of you hearing this, I'll let you decide. Have you done this in front of them before?
I don't think so. This is
Okay.
only us in practice.
So Malibu Medium presents himself in very much the same way as Xander does. He is very affable. He has a very boyish look, a very boyish voice.
Go on.
And the noise that comes out of his throat right now sounds like an ancient Tibetan, just the baritone. It doesn't sound natural at all. It
No,
almost...
he's a tenor.
Yeah.
It goes far beyond. It doesn't just sound like an ancient chant. It sounds like there are voices from the underworld that are being called up in through this. Like the mystics in the Dark Crystal would be impressed right now.
Right.
As you just. And this, however, there's nothing discordant or particularly haunting about it. Instead, it's this leveling off effect that all of you can feel reverberating through the air. If the chaotic emotional reality of our world could stop for a second and just hum a steady tune, this might be what it would sound like. And all of the Geists in the room immediately stop what they're doing and slowly turn and look at you. He also immediately begins to leave this state of this pained state of death and starts to revert back to the young man that was cognizant and was walking with you all.
Mhm.
The joy, however, doesn't return. It looks more like serenity as he just starts coming, as you are invoking sort of a sense of calm in him. Is that what are you doing? Is that
No, I'm invoking the excitement that comes with hot gossip.
okay?
I'm
So
invoking share with us.
so as you see that calm begin to settle in on him, it begins to shift, and then you see this big smile on his face, and he puts his hands on the table and starts tapping it a little bit. You get the impression he is in the zone where you need him.
And you've calmed Juliet down too, enough that she feels comfortable coming back to the circle too.
Okay.
And he looks better. Too.
Yeah, he looks fine.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact of clearly being somewhat luminescent and dead, he looks quite excited suddenly.
So I'm in concentration mode.
I didn't know you could do that. I mean, please don't answer right now.
Yeah. Also, interestingly enough, perhaps creepy is the same effect that apparently Sam was doing, because you don't necessarily hear an intake of breath. It just sounds like it's constant. He goes. Yeah.
Sorry, music joke. Anyway.
Well, Betha loves gossip, and especially loves talking to people that want to talk about really delicious topics like this. Oh, you seem like you have something on your mind. Do share.
He just covers his face for a second and goes,
I won't tell if you don't.
I won't say, you promise you won't say anything.
It won't go any further than this room.
You've got to swear.
I
swear.
Like, it can
Cross my heart and hope to die again.
It can be really, really bad if for me and Bookie both, if anyone finds out.
I would never do that.
No one would find out.
Come on. Share a little.
All right. He goes into his jacket, and you see him pull out what looks like a letterhead, like a torn piece of paper. And he goes, "Look at this." And he holds up this paper. It just says, "Let's go to the park tonight and see what happens." And it just says Bookie. Now, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But what's also interesting is you see University of Berkeley written on the top of the letterhead, 1976.
Seems like you had a meeting, a tryst,
We're gonna-
perhaps.
No, we're going to meet.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Going to meet tonight.
don't say anything.
Of course not.
What's the plan?
I don't know. Bookie just wants me to meet them there.
So is it like a romantic thing, or?
I think so. I think he's going to say it tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. I think he's going to say it.
How did you two meet?
And you see this sudden, like, confusion come over his head and goes, I think we met at a party?
Yeah.
College party?
Yeah, we met at a college party. Oh, yeah.
So you're also a Cal student then?
I go to Berkeley, yeah. Yeah.
Me too. I'm currently studying there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ivy lets that lie slide. Despite the college rivalry, it's fine.
Just, yeah. I mean, Juliet's a Stanford student, but she sees that look and she's like, I think I'm supposed to lie right now. I think this is how you lie right now.
100%. Did you not have 3 facts?
Yeah, it's just, oh, God. Okay.
So
We're not on
what
the same page.
is Bookie also a college student at Berkeley?
I thought you guys knew him.
Oh,
I
I don't.
We were hoping also to introduce our friend Betha to Bookie.
Oh,
some
okay,
point.
okay.
I hear they're good people.
You see this sort of haze come over him for a second, like he's confused.
We've desynced from the memory a little bit too much.
Sing harder.
You definitely get the sense that that is an astute observation. You definitely get the sense that he's kind of drifting in and out of trying to remember.
Yeah, do you have strong feelings for Bookie as well? Oh, look at that face. That's a yes.
I don't know. I mean,
You've been waiting for him to say it for a while, haven't you?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know how it is. I mean, it's a fraternity, and
Indeed.
You know,
Kappa Sigma?
I don't remember the name of his fraternity. bunch of like shithead rich kids, you know?
Yeah.
The worst.
The worst.
Did you try some liquid courage before before you're going off to meet Bookie?
You see the sickness start to come over him suddenly.
Oh,
He grabs that trash can and starts throwing up into it. But as he begins, it's almost like your constant singing actually causes it to be pushed away. And he goes, and he goes right back, just right back into this like smile. And says, "What time is it? I gotta make sure I'm there."
Oh, I've been keeping track on the clock. Don't worry.
And
I
I
haven't
have
let you be late for this.
And I have a car. We'll make sure you get there on time.
So how do you know Bookie?
Class. I'm a student. Berkeley too.
Student at Berkeley.
Are you poli-sci majors?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh no, I'm a lecturer.
So what? You're what is that? You're like a teacher's assistant or something, or what?
No, those of us who occasionally teach, but have other jobs.
What? You're a teacher there? You're a teacher at Berkeley?
Do I look like a student?
They're
And-
my favorite
And
teacher.
you start seeing this look pass over his face, like he's actually looking at you for the first time. Like he's actually looking at you instead of reacting to a voice in the dark. And he looks at you and he goes, "I don't know you."
No, you don't. We're just meeting tonight. I know Bookie.
"Oh, you know Bookie."
Yes. Student in my class.
"Oh, whoa. So Bookie told you? He told you?"
Yeah.
Wow.
Aren't I just very charming? Don't people just, want to share things?
it
You're-
must mean that you're very special.
He starts to glance around at everybody. And you're getting the impression that, like,
Yeah.
he is
We're breaking the spell.
he is constantly shifting between how none of this makes sense, but falling back into the memory over and over. It's like a constant ebb and flow of, like, wait, who are you people? Wait, why are you asking me this? Oh, you know Bookie. Like, it's every time you lead him right back through it. And the song is continuing.
Yeah. Do you have 3 pieces?
I
of
got
facts?
2 only. I've only got 2.
Okay.
I don't think they met at a
Hey,
college
remind me
party
your
right now.
major.
Poli-sci.
Poli-sci. We have 3.
Nice.
I met him at a protest. We were protesting.
Protesting the war.
No. We were, women's rights. It was a thing that happened on campus. It was really shitty. And my friend Michelle, I'm supposed to meet Michelle. Yeah. And I showed up and Michelle was there with him. I thought they were dating, but and then he kept talking to me.
Of course.
Hey, listen, you're not going to tell anybody, right?
Of course
Absolutely
not.
not.
Because like, I don't know, it's great to talk about this. It feels so good to talk about this, because I've always known, but I don't think Bookie knew, Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Has he told you to keep it a secret?
Well, we both kind of agreed we should probably not say anything to anybody.
Yeah.
Michelle knows, but Michelle's a good friend. You can count on Michelle. She's cool. She's all right.
This entire time, I'm looking forward to meeting Bookie, but I am just meeting you for the first time. I'm Betha, and your name?
You see that confusion sweep over him for a second. He says, Darren? Darren.
It's a good, strong name. A little bit dreamy.
Darren McCaffey.
Excellent.
Wow, it feels like I haven't said my name out loud in a long time. Darren McCaffey.
Darren McCaffey.
It sounds like my name. Is that my name? Darren McCaffey.
Juliet, do you want to do your thing?
Darren McCaffey.
I have to do it at the park.
With 3 pieces
Do you want to go to the park? Do you have business there? Because I'm supposed to meet Bookie there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to take you to the park myself, so we'll take you there.
We said that we'd make sure you got there on time, right, Darren?
Yeah. Do you guys know what's going on?
No, we're just gonna drop you off because we promised we would.
Right. Yeah.
Think he's going to say it tonight?
Are you talking about Bookie? He's probably going to say it tonight. You see him pull on his mustache a little bit. He's probably going to say it. I don't know why else he'd want to meet me in the park, you know?
Oh. Well, then we better get over there, huh?
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
Becca
we should
gives
go.
a
We should go. I gotta
double
meet him.
thumbs up to Mal.
Lucky Rabbit's foot crawls back down
Good job, buddy.
and comes to a rest at your side. Yeah, and he just keeps muttering like, yeah. Oh, man. Michelle's not going to believe it. She's not going to believe it.
So tell me more about these sexy frat guys as we.
They're a bunch of assholes. They're a bunch
Ah.
of stupid, like, privileged assholes. Their daddies got them into college, you know what I mean?
But Bookie's part of that.
Bookie's different. He's different. He's not a sheep, you know?
Right.
He's not,
Ivy. How? I mean, we're about to figure it out, but I'm kind of worried that Bookie might have poisoned him.
I think he might have done that to himself.
Think so?
We can't be sure,
I
but
just hate this part. I hate the part about like finding out about death and then just like watching it and then being able to do nothing about it.
and at about that point, it clicks with you. As you say that out loud, you see sort of the agitation in Juliet as she's expressing this. And then, Juliet, you have a moment where you're like, just instinctively glancing up, you realize Ticking Man is trying to make you laugh. You see, as you glance back up to him in all of his, like, ragdoll sort of, like, posing, you see he's, like, inadvertently being creepy as hell. But being aware of your emotional state and being constantly pushing away, you see, as you look back over, he immediately resumes doing some kind of goofy gesture that would horrify anyone else.
you're right there, Julia.
It's fine. What? He's just being stupid. Let's. You don't need to make me laugh. That's not your job. Thank you.
He bats his eyes at you, just flutter, as he just does like this. And you just see the eyelids just flittering open and close. Again, a visage that would be totally terrifying to watch. But in your state, being a member of the Bound, being someone who has seen what you have seen, plus I believe you actually have a merit that specifically states you cannot be horrified by these things.
Yeah.
You see instead an entity that is a dead entity that is trying to amuse you.
Thank you. I've never really thought of him as the comforting type, but I suppose for you.
So creepy.
Bantha looks at all 3 of you with your Geist and then just looks over at Bo and just sighs.
As you glance over at Bo, you find he's looking right back at you.
Oh.
He's been staring right at you this whole time with that typical neutral expression on his face.
You see how they're so connected, and 2 of us are just, I don't know, apples and oranges, perhaps. I was just feeling wistful.
Bo stares at you for a moment, and then his head lowers, and you get a sense of frustration coming from him. You don't know where it's directed at. He just looks down for a second. And you can almost get a sense of his jaw clenching, like he's working something out. We are actually going to pause there because it's time for our 10-minute break.
There we are.
So this is a good opportunity to take a bathroom break and collect yourselves as we prepare for the next scene. You've gotten some information. You've gotten some names. You got a sense of Bookie and where this ghost met Bookie, this Darin fellow. When we come back, maybe we can start unraveling some more of the mystery. We'll see you back here in about 10 minutes, you guys. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're back from our break. Thank you again for joining us tonight for our episode 2 of our 6-part little story that we're doing here for Halloween. Which, by the way, before we jump back into the game, I could be wrong, but I think this is actually our last game before Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
It'll be next
Yeah.
Thursday.
It'll be next Thursday.
Man, we have to make it
So,
extra spooky
But
now.
I even though it'll be November 1st, I definitely want to do. We should definitely do something Halloween-y for our next game.
Yes.
I've already got my
Spooky
mask
season
on.
ends when I say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
We
Okay.
have until Thanksgiving season starts.
Yes.
So.
That's fair.
Yes, Betha loves Halloween. Good for business.
You know, Halloween
Yeah.
is the only thing that prevents Christmas from encroaching further.
Mhm.
We need to proactively
Yes.
take more territory.
Not today, Santa.
Aw.
Julia is one of those people who like actually guards the candy bowl and is like, it says take one. Please only take one.
And you'll watch.
And she watches. It's
Real quick, I just before we jump back into the game, I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to all the subs that signed up this evening. I just got told that we passed 100 subscribers tonight,
Oh, excellent.
so that is pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so definitely, I will
you.
tell you guys, supporting the channel does a big deal. It's it really helps everybody out supporting the channel here at
It
QueueTimes.
keeps the lights on, and we look so much better with good lighting.
I
That's true.
need those.
That's true. So thank you so much for that. And hopefully we can all get something, get some more momentum going here. Get some more folks to get eyes on if they like to see creepy ghost stories.
How do I get momentum in this game?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, I have wheels, and there are hills in this city.
Right.
Lots of momentum. Let's go ahead and jump back into the game.
Mm.
So where we left off, you had been talking to this gentleman, Darren, who had died at least, had been walking San Francisco in the mid-70s. Seems like he was a student at Berkeley. He's talking about somebody called Bookie, who, from the sounds of it, was a lover.
Mm-hmm. Or soon to be.
Or soon to be.
Yeah.
That lover hasn't said I love you yet.
Yeah.
yeah.
But they're
Maybe it's embarrassed.
There's
Maybe
another
some
name that
hand
got
stuff.
dropped. Aside from
Michelle.
Bookie, somebody who's actually been called Michelle.
yes.
Yeah.
And where we last left off, you had all just you had just had the revelation that Ticking Man was actually trying to cheer you up.
So creepy.
What is everyone's agenda now? You've questioned Darren a little bit. He is in a understandably confused state where he is constantly drifting out of his present circumstance to a memory that he seems to be living through, to anticipation of something yet to come, to throwing up and being near his death.
So from what Mal understands, we're headed back to the park. So right now, all he's trying to do is keep this ghost focused and here.
Okay.
So that it doesn't evaporate or...
Yes.
Let's
dissipate
set
before
something
we-
arbitrary then. We'll go ahead and set the time at around 2:30 in the afternoon.
Sure.
Okay.
So you're headed back to Golden Gate Park.
We're
where
hoping
you-
that Sam McGee is gone because I'd like to go back to the site of his death. Is what I'm assuming is his death. I want to try and see if we can make that work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can actually make certain that he wouldn't be there. At the edge of the park, I want to do my haunt, which is the boneyard, eyes in the paintings.
Okay.
But I think before we leave, Ivy wants to do something too.
Okay. So we haven't left yet then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
as y'all are in this room, the crystal shop.
I actually don't want to do it.
Oh.
To be very
Oh, we're doing
clear.
this.
Yeah.
I hate this.
I also hate this. So I think Ivy's haunt you have seen before, and we have done before, but we need more information about the ghost, right?
We do.
So I should do the thing.
If you don't want to, you don't have to, but
It will make it easier.
yeah. And faster, and if Sam McGee is there, and I don't want to deal with that whole situation.
So are you about to use the Oracle ability?
Mhm.
Okay, have you seen them use the Oracle ability
Yes.
before?
Yes.
Yeah. Have all of you
Yeah,
seen them use
and
the
it's a
Oracle
good thing that
ability?
I didn't eat lunch yet because I'm about to. I'm hungry, and I'd rather do it after.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
Mhm.
It's great.
I'm just gonna.
all right.
Beth is fascinated. Oh, do it, please.
She can detect some of the agitation on your face and is looking at you curiously. I'm, of course, talking about Miss Ivy. She's standing over...
Miss Lily.
sorry, Miss Lily is looking down at Miss Lily is looking down at Ivy with a curious look on her face as to what you are about to do.
I move out of my chair into a muggle chair,
Okay,
or I will tip over.
you slide over.
I'm going to activate the oracle now.
All right, I would love it if you describe to me what the Oracle
Please.
does.
Could I pass it on to you, please?
Yes, I'm just going to read it off the paper.
Cool.
Um,
Oh man.
So the way Oracle works roughly is that Ivy becomes an Oracle, but rather than giving any prophecy of their own, they go into a trance whereby others can ask them questions, and the storyteller will give those answers from a select
can
list.
I see that real quick?
Oh yeah, this is the conditions list, not the rules.
Yeah.
But that's some set of questions, and then those are the other set of questions because I have so many dots. And
That's what I was... Okay,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah.
Essentially, you are watching Ivy's body die.
Yep, it's fine. It's fine. It's really fine.
So
very fine with
when you
this.
become a member of the Bound, when you make the bargain with your
Mhm.
Geist, and you are brought back from death, a Geist has not regenerated your body with life. A Geist has literally pushed death away, and has wound itself around your soul. The Oracle is letting death back into your body.
Fine.
So you watch as Ivy's body slumps in their chair. Their heart stops, their eyes roll into the back of their head, and they slump over and stop breathing.
This is fascinating.
And you see Miss Lily looks agitated. Being bound to Ivy has an immediate reaction of concern and anger. Like eyes narrow a little bit and leans in really close. It's really disconcerting because you watch her head again. It doesn't always track with her body, and now you actually see it physically sort of spread away from the body itself. You see a wound that you could not normally see as the head stretches a little bit and looks deep into the rolled back eyes of Ivy. All right.
They're helping us, Miss Lily.
You are going to... You're essentially... It says you're allowing your ghost to range far and wide and answer questions put to it. The condition comes into play with a number of charges equal to the plasm spent on consulting the Oracle. When someone asks a question from the list below, expend 1 charge. The storyteller will answer it truthfully, along with the suggested imagery to provide the answer. When you gain this condition, you may specify a number of characters up to your dots in Oracle, which I believe you have 2. Is that right?
4.
4? You have 4 dots in Oracle? Okay. While you have this... Okay, so 4 people. So who are permitted to ask questions, and you also may allow anyone to ask. While you have this condition, you are... Okay, yes, you're dead. The condition ends without resolving when all the charges have been spent. Okay, so this is... So how many charges are you spending then?
4.
You're spending 4. Okay.
And are the questions are they're limited to specific types?
Juliet
So
has
there,
them.
Okay,
there's a list
So
of
if
questions.
I remember correctly,
Pass them on.
Sam, if I remember correctly, you have a synergy level of 3, which means you can only spend 3 plasm. So that'll be 3 charges, not 4.
Okay.
So you can burn 3 on this.
Okay.
And ask questions as you send your ghost out. All right. So
Do you want to look at these questions because I think I know which one of these I'm going to take?
I'll trust you.
Okay.
I feel like we've done this before.
Are the questions on there?
Yeah, there's
I
some
thought that was
questions on here.
I'm just fascinated with this ability.
I mean, I know what the first question Juliet's gonna ask.
okay.
She like it's always weird looking at Ivy dead. I don't think she likes to look at Ivy dead.
It's also a reminder of what you really are.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is what happens when the power of the Geist is pushed aside. Ivy's ghost has literally left their body.
Oh, okay. So Darren McCaffey, that was his name, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
What ties Darren McCaffey to the mortal plane? And Juliet takes like a step back and like waits.
You see disjointed images suddenly. And then the breath begins to escape Ivy's mouth, but it is a and then an inhale of and the voice begins to come out. It does not sound anything like Ivy as it begins to speak. And whatever the words are actually saying is not what happened. As human beings, we hear words and we instantly make the associations. You know what I'm saying. You get the general idea. You're able to cognitively be aware of how these words translate in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
However, when this tongues-like language comes out of Ivy, instead, all of your minds are immediately filled with visions of... let's see. The charges are going out to 3 people.
Okay.
So the
that's my-
3 of you
Yeah.
will definitely get this. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so you see images of a handsome young blonde man in a Letterman jacket. Looks like an athlete of some kind. And it almost seems like it's sepia tone. You can see him smiling at you and then glancing back off in another direction. And you see a hand holding your hand for a moment. And you get the sensation of liberation and wholeness. Like, the best way to describe it is, oh my God, I didn't realize it before, but I never knew who I was. It's this moment like you've opened your eyes for the first time in your life. It's the feeling that courses through you. And saddled with incandescent joy and anxiety, this exciting, dangerous nervousness of falling in love. And then you get a genuine sense of concern and confusion as you see a woman with dark brown hair and very kind and worried green eyes. Face is somewhat oval shaped, and she looks very she looks very much like particularly with the way that these thick glasses that she wears, she looks like she's like almost like a stereotypical like early 80s librarian from a movie. Like somebody took a stereotype of a librarian from the 1980s, and this is how this woman particularly dresses. She looks quite friendly and lovely. and she's saying something to you, and you feel a sense of concern coming from her. But you also get a sense of her happiness for you, but a sense of caution. And then there is a cracking feeling, like a break, when you see a hand being pulled out of yours, and the world gets ripped away from you suddenly, right as it felt like you were about to cross a threshold to where you've always wanted to be. And then nothing.
So, yeah, love ties into this world.
That's
And
intense.
then you hear the exhale of aware that everything you just experienced was being verbalized in an unknown language.
I need a second. Beth, if you want to ask something, you may.
Yes. What here about Darren's situation has gone unseen by us? Like, what are we not catching?
You'll have to be more specific.
That's what the question says. What here has
What
gone
here has
unseen?
gone unseen? Like, what are we missing type of thing? Or, like, is there something that we haven't noticed? Maybe about
Or maybe
his...
what should we be paying more attention to?
Yeah.
Is that...
The truth is you've actually done quite well at uncovering. I will say that I will give you confirmation. You do get the sense that
Okay.
I'll give you a confirmation since you've actually done quite a good job at getting the clues and everything that he has. There are two things.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle,
Mhm.
Yes.
she might be important
Mhm.
to this.
Mhm.
Bookie could be a nickname.
Right.
It's hard to say. Michelle, whoever she is, there might be more there. Because you get a lingering sense as you ask your question, you once again see this face.
Do we have a last name for her?
The confirmation I was going to give you is you definitely get a sense that it was alcohol poisoning that killed him. He likely passed unconscious and died in his own vomit, unfortunately.
Are we keeping to we can only ask the oracle questions?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Just for simplicity's sake.
Yeah.
And then if we need to clarify like we just did, we can dance around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we get one more.
You get one more.
Yeah. And Mal has it.
I do. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, I'd ask for the lottery numbers now.
I think maybe we should use the last question on something better.
Well, I'm just saying. You know, once we find Ivy's wife,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you know
I
the large ass will be gone.
Okay.
Just let's get Ivy out of this, please.
You know, my burden is the hungry, right?
Yes, it's true. Mine is the abiding, so I would like to abide to the rules, please.
Okay. What here is most treasured by someone? And by here, I mean the mortal plane. And by someone, I mean Darren.
So you're basically. So this is a very powerful question because it's like asking, "Hey, what's your anchor?"
If he wants to tell us,
you definitely get a sense that he probably has more than one, but Bookie is definitely one of them.
Sure.
You get this surging sense of importance, almost to the point where you see Ivy's body just kind of stiffen a little bit, like it wants to get up and go to Bookie. All of which, by the way, as this is all happening, he, as in Darren himself, who was watching all of this happen, has gone catatonic and staring straight ahead, almost like he's experiencing it with you all. Whoever Bookie is of tantamount importance to Darren. You do get the sense that there is something else, something unresolved, aside from Bookie himself.
I tried.
You did. It's okay.
Let's get them out of this.
Yeah, let's get them out of this.
This is the part that fascinates me.
It's not a gasping of breath. because the body hasn't been deprived of oxygen. It's not resurfacing from water. It's literally starting again. The heart, as it's not supposed to be able to do as it does, but as your ghost, the plasm coursing unseen through your veins fuels the life that should be absent from your death, preventing side effects like brain death from lack of oxygen. You are once again the supernatural creature known as the Bound, as death is pushed away. And you can almost sense Miss Ivy slapping that ruler again.
Almost like a spectral defibrillator.
Yeah. Take
You're
damage.
back. No.
But yeah.
It's
You
us.
see Miss Lily is slapping this ruler against the palm of her hand, and it summons you back. You can hear this noise in your ears, Ivy, as Miss Lily is just slap, 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 slap. And as you come back, there's this rawness in the back of your throat, like you've been shouting for days.
Absolutely
water.
fascinating. Are you okay, Ivy?
You can see, by the way, earmuffs. You can see, by the way, seeping back into Ivy's like veins. You can see the pulse of plasm, just the essence of the supernatural, the ephemeral, pulsing. And for a second, you see it doesn't manifest at all as blood, but it does make the veins all in Ivy's face become visible for a second, like there's a glow underneath their skin, and then
You know what it reminds me of? Zombie movies. I think that's why I'm fascinated by it. Because they're gone, and then they're back again.
We've never found this out before, but do you know what you said? Like, do we have to
I'm gonna
explain?
go get some water.
Okay.
The answer to that question is yes. You experienced it more intensely than everybody in the room, as it was your ghost.
Yes, and I get to be fucking dead
Drink.
at the time.
Yeah.
It's astounding. Thank you for doing
You're not
that,
drinking.
Mm-hmm. You can feel the disapproval. It's not a judgmental disapproval. It feels like the best way to describe it, if you can feel the emotion behind, I don't like it when you do that, kind of like this irritation.
Not mad, but disappointed.
Yes, exactly. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed. She just stands over you, and she does side-eye you. Even when you give her the look, she just...
Was it helpful?
Absolutely.
They were.
I mean, your soul literally traveled beyond the beyond. I'm the only one that's completely fascinated by it, but it is amazing.
It's amazing. Just
It's like
gross.
gone and then back again.
Just a moment. Yeah. I'm going to borrow Darren's trash.
Okay,
I'll
you
be
move
back
over.
in a moment.
Uh-huh. How's Darren looking?
Darren looks like he's in a state.
Still.
He's just kind of like... Yes, because being taken, like, he was not part of the people who got to see the visions, per se, but it almost seems like he understood the tongues that were being spoken. Like, he understood. He was feeling what was happening. And it seems to have put him in a state of, once again, that sort of confusion. Of somebody who's dead that doesn't necessarily know they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say. As you throw up in the trash can, it occurs to you that the sensation of rawness in the back of your throat isn't actually because your skin has been, the flesh inside of your neck has been made raw from constant hacking or breathing in. In fact, it feels much deeper and more profound. It feels... You realize the best way to describe it, a way that no living person could possibly understand, is it feels like a spiritual rawness all along your neck. which you can only guess is a manifestation of plasm. You can only suspect. But as you just like channeling all of that death energy and pushing life away like that.
Yep. Back. I have things still to.
Are you sure you want to come with us?
It's been a long day.
Oh, you got a last name too from Michelle.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Curiel. Curiel.
That actually gives us what I think one next step should be. We should be cross-referencing the Berkeley student records from that year.
We should.
We have
1976.
majors. We have first and last names.
We have sports teams.
And we can go through
Fraternity.
associates, fraternities. Find that investigation sorts of things.
And when we're prepared to go back, I can do my haunt to make sure that there isn't any company waiting for us.
How do you feel about staying the night?
Are you asking Darren?
Mm-hmm.
So Darren looks at you slowly and goes, "Staying here tonight?
You've had a lot to drink, and I think it might be best.
I'm sorry, I've got to go. I can't. I'm sorry.
I can't let you leave. You gave me your keys, and
I'm sorry. I've got to go.
Right.
I'm
well,
so sorry."
just stay here for a moment, and we will be right back.
Okay.
Remember
yeah.
to read your note, and we'll be right back. Right?
side huddle.
Okay.
We
Now-
can't let him go
No,
back.
he's not going to go anywhere. He's stuck in a loop. It's as far as he knows, it's still 1976.
And at that
during
moment,
the day.
Oh no.
all of you hear "Ah!" just like this shock of alarm, causing everyone just instinctively to glance to the side. You see he has proceeded to take one step out the front door. Looks like he's leaving. And Bo has him by the neck and is just holding him like very casually just off to the side. And this dread Geist will not release him. You see he just goes, even though his neck is completely enveloped by the hand of this man, is talking normally, like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I've got to go. I really got to go. Bo's head just rolls over to the side and looks at all of you.
Don't let Bo
Good.
hurt him.
Good job, Bo.
Mhm.
What are you talking? Bo
Yes,
just
yes,
saved
but, like,
the day.
He could have just stood in the way or something. Does he have to go for the neck?
Well,
It seems extremely violent. It
it's
seems
ex-
unnecessarily violent.
it's extremely effective,
Well,
is what
here's
it is.
the
And
thing.
look, he's talking normally. He's fine.
But-
Ghosts can't breathe. What does he? It's
So my concern is we don't really know how these looping ghosts work, right? I might say some terms because I know you're not a gamer, but we don't necessarily know where they spawn. Does that make sense to you?
That makes no
what
sense. to
where
me.
they give birth.
Sure.
That's-
But if he
Do ghosts
respawns
give
at the tree and we're not there, or if he makes his way back to the tree, Sam McGee is there and Sam McGee's gonna eat him.
Well, you know what? Bo has him right now. Very well done, Bo. Wow.
Bo,
Bo
can you
looks
just, take
back
him
just
by
in
the
time to
arm?
you start noticing that he is starting to fade from Bo's hands.
Oh
No, please, just by the
Um,
arm, literally anywhere other
well,
than the neck.
No, I think it's probably that looping thing.
Oh god.
Where he might be tied to that location and we've kept him away for too long. Can I have a roll on that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
this
yes.
is totally underworld lore.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, so
Yeah.
go ahead and
Can I
make your roll.
assist? Because just for the one.
How would you assist?
Because I suggested it.
Yes, okay, I'll buy that.
2, 3, so I get one
focus on
extra
doing life
one,
For specialization.
and then specialization.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I can't do it with 7.
Difficulty's 1.
It happens.
Oh, okay, good. All right. 1, 2 successes. One's a 9 and one's an 8.
It just cracks me up because every time like, you always know when Markeia is rolling because she literally vanishes from the so you how many successes did you get?
2 successes.
2 successes.
One's a 9 and one's an 8. If that makes
Yes,
any difference.
ghosts who are away from their anchors for too long start to lose essence.
Oh. I
and-
know how to take care of that.
So they usually need to return to their anchors as quickly as possible, or
Okay.
sometimes they can't even wander away from it. It just depends on what the ghost is and how powerful they are. In this particular case, Yes, it would seem that he is returning to his anchor.
He needs essence. I know exactly what this is. He needs essence. Not a problem. In fact, last time we were in the underworld, I procured a little item that I believe that Darren might find interesting. Darren, you wouldn't want to go back to meet Bookie without a present for him, right?
Darren, you're asking Darren if he wants to go back and meet Bookie?
No. I'm talking to Darren because I'm about to do something. So I'm like, Darren,
Okay.
when you meet Bookie, you want to have a present for them. Well, I have a lovely rose that I believe you should hold on to. And here you go. And then I pull out the rose that I got in the underworld
Okay.
that I traded with Shaw for.
Okay. You see his
and-
eyes almost. If he's not conscious of what he is or the fact that he's dead, it is clear that whatever's going on with him, whatever state that he is in, he clearly recognizes that is not a normal rose. And as you hold it up, he goes, "Wow, far out, man. That is a beautiful flower. Is that glass?"
This would be a beautiful present for Bookie.
And Bo lets his neck go as he comes striding over, and the moment he touches the rose, you just see him coalesce as he holds it, and becomes quite visible and goes, "Oh man, I mean, it's kind of corny, but I mean, that might be funny. He might like that."
It's ironic.
And hey, I bet he's going to say it tonight.
I bet he's going to say it tonight. He almost echoes as he goes back into that thought.
Great. So, okay, deductions are really good, and now Juliet will probably do her clickety-clackety
Yes,
thing.
I can do that.
Find Michelle.
I went to Stanford, but going to Berkeley.
Well,
Do you actually have connections at Berkeley?
Or are the records
Yes.
public?
Is this not just an internet thing?
Oh,
I'll make some calls.
Tina, right?
Oh, we have a moment.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
I'm
just
going in and making some calls.
she's
Okay.
there to-
Are you calling anyone specific, or are you just making some general calls about? And what calls are you making? What was your inquiry?
I need to get access to the school records at Berkeley. And I have a couple connections at the alumni office. My wife was a reasonably generous donor to the program.
Okay.
So it is probably
That's
via that
easy then.
mechanism.
So your connections basically inform you that they can probably come up. They've got 3 Michelle Curiels in the database.
Mhm.
It is not Michelle is an extremely common name. Curiel, not as much as you might think in this
We have a
particular instance.
year range. We also have a
Right.
second name.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So they inform you that they can probably get this to you by the end of the week.
It would be so lovely for that to be expedited.
How would you like them to expedite that?
That sounds like a them.
So what are you pulling to get them to expedite this? Because they're literally just
Resources.
assuming the runaround that you start to get is, oh, we can totally do that for you. We'll send it to this admissions office. They can pull up the records. We can see if it falls under the purview of not needing to get written. Essentially getting a student roster. It's information that's not necessarily accessible to the public. You can find
I
out that
say the
somebody went
words
here.
Tina Preston Memorial Scholarship.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to have you make a roll.
Mhm.
So this will be. Well, this could be manipulation, or I think this is manipulation.
I think it is.
I
It's
think
not,
this is manipulation persuasion.
I think that is true. Do I add my resources to this?
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
I think what I'll do is I'll tell you what, I'll give you 2 bonus dice for your resources
Okay.
because you are invoking and you were dropping the scholarship and you're invoking your own name. You are somebody with money, and this is
I-
a little irregular, but
Yes,
it is.
but you know,
But
there's always a number.
Let's see how that goes.
Oh, real bad, kids. That's
Oh,
one.
Lots of low numbers.
You
Oh,
only
wait,
need-
actually, did I? Yeah.
You only needed one. I didn't declare
Well,
more than one.
that's true.
So you succeeded.
Amazing. Well, I suppose
How
it is
many?
like 11:30 at night. Oh, gosh.
We're there.
Let's see. So that was manipulation. And then
That's a lot.
I assumed it wasn't a charm roll.
Right.
Because a little bit of strong arming.
Yeah.
So 4 for that, and then another 2 for the money.
Okay.
Well, 1 for the money, 2 for the show.
I saw it coming, and I was like, maybe they won't go there.
Like a trolley. Actually,
So, indeed, they become a little more receptive when you drop the word scholarship. They pass you on to somebody higher up the chain. You're kept on hold for about 20 minutes as you're guessing that there's conversations about this. Then you are passed off to somebody else that's higher up the chain who has less oversight, who has a very personal conversation with you and actually explains that they are familiar with the name of your wife and how sad they were to hear about her.
and she gained so much from the bioengineering program at Berkeley, and everything that she was able to do with her company was thanks to that. And it'd be so lovely to continue to support and not let that support languish now that.
You get the impression that the conversation gets steered by the woman on the other end of the phone into a direction of this is very irregular, but this clearly means a lot to you, and you're just asking for information about one particular student. And I myself have on occasion used our database to track down old friends, and I'm sure this is fine. And thank you so much for your support, and we'd be happy to help you. And takes about maybe 5 more minutes before they say, where can we send this information? And you give them an email address, or okay. 20 minutes later, you receive an email.
Okay.
And they are student admission records and photographs. And it is immediate. You recognize Michelle Curiel. She was a musician at the University of Berkeley. In fact, after graduating, she came back and taught for 2 years at the university. But was not granted tenure. And she resides here in San Francisco and teaches piano, apparently. And she is on their list of people to come in, like, substitute teaching. She's still on really good terms with the university.
Nice.
She lives actually in Oakland,
Ah,
just across the bay.
there it is. That makes sense.
She lives in Oakland.
Piano teacher.
Piano teacher, yeah.
2019 San Francisco.
Not happening.
Yeah, lives in, I mean, even Oakland.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Anyway,
tell me
it's
twice.
just like that the radius of effect from San Francisco out.
No. This to happen. Lovely. Good.
So it's not evening yet, if I remember correctly. It's actually probably late afternoon at this point.
Yeah.
I'm going to text my assistant to have them take care of the details of the donation and scholarships.
Okay.
I really.
They scribble it down, but you get the impression just from the speed in which they are working, the moment you invoke your wife's name and talk about the scholarship, it is addressed with a sense of urgency and
I don't
importance.
want to take care of any of those details.
Your assistant knows. And so
Yes.
your assistant goes to work.
Good.
That's what you're paying them for.
Oh, yes.
All right.
All right, well,
Okay.
so.
Did I say, what year did I say for Darren's death?
76.
76. I was off by a year. I actually have my notes here. It's 77.
Okay.
For what it's worth. Yeah.
And I
What
assume
happened
that-
in 77?
Are you sharing the information with the rest of us, or
Yes,
okay?
of course. I'll forward it on to all of you.
Is this normal? It's
It's like you're doing
Oh.
this.
Did you let me at that thing?
It's
What
an extra
time
pen.
is it? Because you said not yet evening, so we're thinking like 5:30.
Probably like 3:30.
It's probably,
it's been 20.
I don't know how
20
long. I
minutes.
don't
give us
know
the
how
intro.
long I was dead.
It's okay.
Oh.
It's a little bit arbitrary, so we'll just say it's about 4:45 in the afternoon.
All right, so there is
plenty
still
of
the
time to say.
possibility that we could go calling on Miss Curiel.
Yeah, I think that Juliet, you were talking to me about wanting piano lessons, weren't you?
I think that would
I'm
be
so
lovely,
glad-
Julia.
We should really shop around to see teachers.
No.
You'll be fine.
I took
Could you do that for the shop
The
too?
world's worst liar.
Do you want me to do it?
Have you seen me try to
The
lie?
world's second.
Oh, okay. Do you want to play piano? Can you play piano?
It just.
I took lessons along with my brother, but not really very extensively. He's a musical one.
Can you play piano?
No, why would I? Oh, but I know what we could do. It's a possibility. I mean, it seems that
Your voice trails away because your mind is suddenly flooded with a memory of a young Japanese boy sitting on a stool and an older man sitting next to him, listening to him go through all of his notes, going through scales one by one, masterfully, up and down. And you feel this sudden swell of anxiety. But on the man's face, you just see this warmth and nodding. And when you mess up a key, you freeze. And there's this nervousness, and an old wrinkled hand comes and takes your hand and puts it back on the right key, and you begin again, these little stubby fingers moving your way across the keyboard. And as you are playing, you feel the sense of, I'm doing it. And you look back up to him in approval just in time to see, as he's smiling at you, the snapping sound of a gunshot and a bullet hole right through his forehead that sends his head snapping back. That he hits the ground in a wet alley that's raining all around you. And you drop to your knees as this little boy, and you're back. You've watched her in mid-sentence stop and her eyes go wide. And inky blackness begins to wrap around her body.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All of you begin to hear this again, that roar, that ambient roar of the underworld, like blood rushing through your ears.
Betha, come back.
And then...
Oh, dear God. Oh, wow. It happened. Wow.
Are you okay?
Wow. Oh, wow, Bo.
Oh,
wow.
What's Bo looking like right now?
Bo is standing very calmly, but he's not looking at anybody. He's just staring down at the floor.
I've seen that look before. Are you okay?
Bo took piano as a child. There's a lot more to it than that, but water. Thank you. There's a lot more than that.
Was it a good memory or a bad memory?
Both.
Do you think confronting a piano might be healthy or hurtful?
I think, wow. From what I'm feeling with it, the piano part it's bittersweet. It's both. I don't think he's not going to lose control or anything. It's not a Sam McGee situation, but it's a very painful memory. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
But the person that taught him, their end was extremely tragic, and he saw it.
Well, we're still learning about all of this, right?
That was very intense.
But if I have a hunch, maybe you learning piano might bring you closer to Bo.
I think that's what that was about. I think so. Yes, I want to learn piano. I want to learn very, very badly now.
I'm sending an email to Kirill's website portal.
Okay.
Yeah.
She you see that she lives in Oakland. You don't really have an address, obviously. This particular portal just has email me if you're interested in lessons. These are my rates.
Actually, you know what? If there's a phone number, you know what?
There's a phone number.
Ivy is willing to make phone calls. There's a
This
reason
is-
why one becomes a CEO of the world. And only reason is because they are the ones
And
pulling
this is
the
why
big
we
bucks.
play role-playing games.
Yeah.
Because in role-playing games, we can do things we don't normally do in real life.
And the
But yes,
second,
I was going to go off and do that, so it's already taken care of. Well,
and yeah, the second that you say that you want a piano, literally Juliet's like already on her phone and being like, "You'll have one delivered to your house tonight."
Thank you, Juliet.
I want a whiskey. Like, really bad.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of.
Okay.
I've
My
got
maximum
you
bathroom.
covered.
Oh, good.
Yeah, then goes
I
over
got-
to
I
a
got-
cabinet
I got
and
some
pulls out a drawer.
Digital.
You're going to want a digital,
Casio.
yeah, make sure there's...
Is Scotch okay? I have Lefroy.
I'm... What? Oh,
Lefroy.
I'm not picky.
Oh, wow.
Just thirsty.
Okay,
Thank you.
wow.
Where's Ivy?
The phone rings a few moments, and then you hear an automated message saying, "Hello, you've reached Michelle Curiel. If you are interested in music lessons, please leave your message. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, and have a lovely day."
Hello, this is Ivy McDermott Preston. I'm calling for a potential student. If you could give me a call back as soon as possible, we're interested in beginning right away. My number is thus and such. Please give me a call back. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a good day. Goodbye.
All right.
Where's Ivy? Juliet's gonna go looking for Ivy because Ivy just had a traumatic experience and suddenly they're gone. No,
yeah,
thank you.
it's the second time you've seen Ivy use the Oracle ability.
Yeah.
It's never not a lot.
Where do you take your phone call?
I went around the corner. I at least had mentioned the digital piano, so you probably saw the direction I went, if you wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
As you are looking around, you get the sense that this is the first time you've gotten the sense that Miss Lily understands who you are to Ivy, because as you're looking around, she just gently points out the door, her hand just phasing through the door. She points that way, and the ticking man just does this.
What a weirdo.
Yeah.
Creepy weirdo. Just not around children. Thank you. Okay, that way. I'm gonna go that way.
She follows you.
Yeah.
And again, you hear
Let's go.
the heels in the hallway. You hear her coming. Just as you're hanging up the phone, the door to the shop opens as you are outside. You're getting the impression that even with the cold weather, you can smell rain is on the horizon. In San Francisco, the moisture level is going up. It's going to be raining here probably in the evening. So your breath can actually be seen at this point as it's... I know. For those of you watching at home, we had a wonderful spell of cool weather, and then it hit like 93 degrees.
God.
So,
Fire.
but yes, you are experiencing the fall weather as you approach.
Well, Juliet's actually shivering because she's given Ivy their jacket.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't. I gave it to you. This is only gonna make it awkward, and I'm gonna feel really terrible.
already
I will
awkward.
actually feel worse. if
Take
you
the
give-
coat now.
Yes.
Put it on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wait,
and it's
no.
not ma'am. It's sir.
It's sir. It's sir. Yes.
Boss, if
we
you
talked
must.
about
Yes, we have.
that.
I went to voicemail. I'll try again.
Wait. Who are you calling?
Curiel.
I'm glad that you're okay, but you can't just walk off.
No,
We're
I can't.
we're your team. And like we're here to like plan stuff together. And like that was a great idea, really, but like you could have run it by us.
Faitha was having a moment.
And you should have been there for that.
I needed my own time. This makes things almost feel normal. Calling people on phones, getting records, lets me forget that I was dead 15 minutes ago. I'm going to go inside now. I'm going to finish that cup of water. Thank you for checking in on me.
You sure you don't want my jacket?
Not even slightly. Put both sleeves on. Okay.
tell you, Mel, it was so intense.
Cheers.
I mean, is this literally what you go through with your medium thing that you do? I was there. I was Bo.
I'm just glad that he's sharing with you.
I know.
Are you all having alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't have to drop.
As y'all are drinking the alcohol,
I don't think we've done this yet.
Oh no!
you immediately start seeing a change dramatically shift in proximity to Darren as he is near this bottle of alcohol. As you all, you watch as he is, the moment you are all sharing, he's kind of watching all of you. And then as you're drinking, he stares at the bottle. And you are in the middle of conversation when you glance and you see the bottle just start going, just shaking up by itself on the table. And Darren starts, earmuffs.
Oh dear.
Darren starts vomiting plasm. He immediately just starts, you just see this column of ichor and goop just eject from his mouth as you all feel the essence of essence like immediately enter the room. It doesn't take any kind of roll to know that immediately you have probably inadvertently stumbled upon one of his bands.
Yeah.
And he just starts throwing up. You can
burn it.
Do we
cap
feel
it?
this even though we're not in the room?
You are coming back in just as this is happening.
All right.
Everything is fine.
So pizza Troy back in.
But
Yeah.
the vomiting is so it doesn't stop.
Oh.
And it is as you're not sure if it's manifesting in the physical world or not, but it's definitely present in Twilight, and it does obviously it is made up of plasma.
Yeah.
So but it is, as I was telling them, it seems like you've inadvertently triggered a ban.
Yep.
Yeah. And you see his form begin to shrink and shrivel. And you hear a scream as he starts backing away. And then his eyes roll into the back of his head and he falls back onto the ground in slow motion, just under.
Oh.
The bottle of alcohol is completely empty. It's just not there. The alcohol in your glass is not there. It's gone.
What happened?
I put the Lefroy bottle back into the cabinet and closed it.
Make a quick roll. This is going to be a lore check.
Yeah.
Point.
So, difficulty this will be 2. So it's going to be tricky because you actually never encountered this before. You may have heard about it though because of what you know about bands and banes.
Right. So 3, and then is this a intelligence or wits? Wits?
This would be. I'll tell you what. I'll give it to you. Whichever is the higher of the 2.
Wits.
I'll give that to you. All right. So wits.
It's fine. Yeah.
Think about it. Oh my God.
Yeah. Obviously didn't think about it over here.
Great call.
Oh.
I mean,
Ooh.
Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3 successes.
okay. So, what you know about banes and bands is that when they kick in, usually it has to be a little more specific. If it is something general like I can't be near alcohol, then usually it's not as violent. It's usually a ban. Like it's difficult for the ghost to be near something that is related to an emotional tie or something that he did in death. This is probably closer to his bane. For it to be part of his bane, to be so harmful to him, it would have to be very specific. You're getting the impression that he may have died from drinking whiskey.
Oh.
Because he's reacting right now. You're watching him essentially relive his death right in front of you. And he starts gurgling on the floor, and his eyes are rolling back, and he looks like he's trying to say something. He's just coughing up plasm.
I have, I started that trading system with Shaw, and I'm continuously giving gifts
His essence,
to Niles.
yeah.
So it's logical to assume that Betha would have another essence object, and then if not, I do have grave goods.
Well,
I can make one.
Unfortunately, because his bane has been triggered, there's really no stopping this at this point. What's probably going to happen here is he's going to lose consistency and reappear probably tomorrow night at his anchor. So you watch him just, and then he literally pulls that. If you remember the X-Men scene in the original movie where he turns into water, it's kind of the same effect where he just splashes across the ground and you hear gurgling, and then the smell. You see what manifests in a giant puddle all over the ground is whiskey, just splashing all over the floor, pouring out in every direction, and he's gone.
I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry.
Now,
I
will say
didn't
this.
think of it.
Typically, they have to come into contact with their bane. This was a very violent reaction to just being in proximity of it.
I didn't even think of it myself. I was so overcome with the experience with the bow. I didn't.
Will we know that he's gonna respawn at the anchor, or is that only something that she knows?
She knows that.
Okay.
Unless-
So he's just gone now.
No, he will respawn. Oh, I get it.
There it is.
Respawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gamer thing.
Uh-huh.
I get that now. Back at his anchor.
Which is near Sam McGee, apparently. Allegedly? Maybe.
We don't know if he's going to be there, but I can check the location before we go there whenever we're ready.
How long does it take them to usually
Tomorrow
respawn?
night. It's usually
It's
it's
like a 20
cyclic.
yeah.
It's a 24-hour thing.
Okay.
Okay, so we have time.
We do have
We have
time.
some time.
He won't be corporeal, so Sam can't get to him. So we have a day
That's not necessarily
not
true.
Oh, until he respawns?
till he responds.
If Sam finds the anchor,
Oh.
Unless Sam finds the anchor first.
That's-
So we have to go stop Sam, is what
so
you're telling
just so
me.
you know, a Reaper, in order to do it right and get a ghost and devour a ghost and send it to the underworld, typically that'll involve destroying the anchors as well. Destroying a ghost's ability to exist in this world. Destroying the anchor is a way to do that.
But we're on the trail for them as well. That's what this investigation is. We have time to try to find them before.
Yes.
Right.
I've also given you a vital piece of information that I'm just going to go ahead and connect for you,
Mm-hmm.
just to sort of to help you guys here, because everyone's still learning the game of Geist. But as I've said, anchors are what keep ghosts here and make it so they don't get pushed through an Avernian gate into the underworld. Or they empower them so it's a little more difficult, but essentially it's going to be in Sam McGee's interest to destroy the anchors.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right.
And
Or
so
devour the anchors.
So basically, and we don't know the exact amount of time before that happens.
You know there are two anchors.
We know there are two anchors.
You don't know what one of them is,
Yeah.
but you definitely know the other one's Bookie,
Yeah, yeah.
who is a living human being.
Yep.
But we
Right.
have reason to believe the other one is connected to this piano teacher who went voicemail.
So
Contacted me back yet?
No, but if there is any truth to the 9 to 5 job, it'll probably be after 5, which is relatively soon.
Good. Honestly.
Okay, so we just got to get to Bookie before Sam McGee.
I
Gets
think
to
the
Bookie.
way to Bookie is through Michelle. I mean,
Yeah.
She would know
from the
what his
visions. It seemed
name
it was very,
Yeah.
very close
actually was.
to each other. So it's not a complete loss.
By the way, the whiskey on the floor is very real. It's not in Twilight.
Oh,
Ah.
It is. Oh.
great.
It's gonna start to smell.
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
mop
to roll
that up.
Mother.
Hold on. I'm gonna try and mop it up, sir.
The only good thing about this is
I'll
that
hand you a washcloth.
I actually,
Hardwood.
I
Oh.
just came in the door, so I stay where I am,
Yeah.
away from. Well, it would be rude to call it the mess room.
Yeah.
It's a mess we made.
Well, now that you've mentioned it.
By the way, Mal, your phone is starting to blow up.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
What is this feeling inside? I think I feel bad. I feel bad for what we did to that ghost.
Yeah.
That person. They don't like to be called
There
ghosts.
you go. We're learning.
I'm getting better at this.
You are.
Growth.
That's really good.
I'm gonna check my DMs.
I mean, they're all Bindi Becca. It's
Yeah.
a bunch of messages from Bindi Becca. They're
Yeah.
not nice messages.
Oh, no.
They're talking about how what you did was really fucked up.
Yeah.
And they don't understand your behavior, that they just started like really feeling comfortable around you.
Cool. I'm gonna address this with my anxiety and not answer.
Okay.
That's
I
a
get
lot.
that. Juliet relates.
Okay.
Honestly, the best is like putting it on Do Not Disturb.
Mhm.
That way you can't tell how many messages you're getting.
It's
Hot
too
to
real.
Juliet.
The red number of death.
Yeah. I'm mopping up.
Thank you, Juliet.
Yeah, I didn't want it to get sticky.
Okay, you've come back with one of the old. I mean, you don't use this mop.
I don't.
You've never had to really.
It's the whiskey mop.
And you start slogging through it. For
Juliet-
all intents and purposes, it is whiskey. Like it's
Yeah.
just poured from the bottle.
Yeah, it's just this is gross and weird, but Juliet would like to scoop some of that whiskey up
Okay.
and like put it in like some sort of container.
Okay.
Tiny bottle. Tiny
Yeah,
liquor
tiny.
bottle.
Yeah, we probably have tiny little bottles here, but like if there's
Vials, I would
so,
say.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
definitely.
the word is vial.
So,
Yes.
Spiritual and holistic
So
shop.
so
we
like
have vials.
the thought process that she's going through is, if he turned into this whiskey, like could we take a like sample of this whiskey to see if there was any like toxins in it, or just like, or even to see like what kind of brand of whiskey it was to see if we get any more clues. But like this is Juliet going full on Nancy Drew. She loved
Yeah.
Nancy Drew when she was
You're
little.
hearing the CSI theme song in the back of your head right now.
She was like, wait, a clue.
Well,
Um,
But
Juliet-
like it's pure, like this is pure fantasy. Like
My wife
this
used to
is-
pop off at CSI and how it's completely scientifically unrealistic and how
Oh, man.
some great
alters
episodes.
My
the
brother's in law
perceptions of
enforcement, and it just drove him
juries.
nuts.
And the
They have
standard
some
of
good episodes, says Juliet.
apparently the forensics were completely inaccurate. You'd have to ask.
I mean, story, you know?
Actually, it's a really good idea. And then Betha goes over to is there a pool of essence or pool of plasm?
No, you there's no plasm.
Okay.
It is all manifested as whiskey. This is actually the
Okay.
smell of alcohol is just wafting through the area now,
Okay.
and it's strong. It
Oh.
just smells like probably
Open
alcohol.
windows.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
can we get some air, Ivy?
Yes, of course. Step into my
Um,
office. We go outside.
Hey,
Yes.
I don't want to look at this right now, and I know that you do the business. And how bad is it?
It's one of those moments where it takes you a second to scroll because she does this. I'm not
Stream of consciousness.
as a GM. I'm not trying to real life voice my irritation with this habit that people have with texting.
Oh well.
But she is texting in fragments. Like
Mhm.
every time she finishes a sentence, she
Mhm.
starts a new instead of just putting it all in one damn text.
I do
And
that.
so,
I do.
so
Otherwise, do you want an entire
Wall.
2 screens worth of just this? Because I'm worried.
yes,
yes,
yes, I do.
I will
I
make a
prefer-
note. I think I mostly do. But
Yeah,
I'll
I will
make
make
a
a
note.
note.
1, 2 buzzes. Okay, 3 buzzes. All right, 20 buzzes. That could have been said in a buzz, 2 buzzes.
Just at me and Xander next time.
I mean, actually, yeah.
Love of God.
Sorry.
Okay,
Um,
so Becca
so-
does that. So I
Becca
take a
does
moment.
that.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
scroll.
The GM is literally side-eyeing his own creation and like.
Ah.
So you see that she has. It looks like just message after message of like, your behavior really upset me today. I don't know what was wrong. I took a big risk coming to meet you. I thought we could work collaboratively. It's a bunch of punitive texts of how Malibu Medium's behavior was really disappointing today, and they want an explanation as to why they threw their phone and why they chased them out of their own spot. Like, she's threatening to go on social media and explain to everyone what a dick he was. She's basically trying to weaponize her audience because she felt really mistreated this afternoon.
Leaving aside that is a terrible use of a positivity brand.
Welcome to the internet.
Welcome to the internet.
All right. It is very bad.
Oh no.
And it is bad in part because it is deserved.
Huh?
Because you did a thing. You did a bad, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have to explain to you, but I was trying to
It was a
save her.
necessary bad,
What do I do?
but from her perspective, entirely a bad.
Yeah.
So, accountability
Uh-huh.
and amends. I'm
Should I
going
say
to
I'm a-
Venmo you some money now.
Okay.
And I am going to, in very small part, save your ass so you can tell her
Huh?
when you apologize says that you're buying her a new phone.
With the money. Oh, I see. I thought. Oh, yes, understood.
But even if it's not salvageable, and it may not be, you'll have done as much as you can do.
What do I say is the problem, though? Like, I can't tell her the actual reason, and I don't know what to say. It sounds like I took her phone and threw it out of nowhere for no reason.
Well, the best lies have a bit of truth, so say that you were anxious, that you don't usually have people of her status.
I'm never gonna work with anyone ever again. Oh my god, they're all gonna think I'm a phone thrower.
Only if it gets out.
Hashtag
But
phone thrower.
Confess,
Don't hashtag that!
confess that she made you feel anxious and vulnerable because she's such a big deal and you overreacted, and please forgive you.
Okay.
Let her be magnanimous.
Okay. Yeah, I can
You can do that.
do this.
Do you want me to write you a draft?
Yeah!
Alright.
Just looking at when you say "hey" as you open the text chain, you see all the telltale signs that she is threatening to drag you on the internet. With 1.5 million followers,
Significant drag.
it doesn't matter what she says.
Yeah.
If she's going to voice disapproval, you already know what the mentality is going to be and how interested people are going to actually be about what really happened. You can see the precipice of your behavior, which wasn't great,
Okay.
the validity of what she's saying,
Ooh.
and what could technically happen.
right.
You're basically seeing the seesaw effect here. And I will give you this. The advice that was just given to you, damn good advice.
Yeah.
Why don't we make this a roll?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
We're going to make this a roll.
So I'm drafting a message. May I make a presence expression?
Yes, I would absolutely say yes.
I'm burning willpower into it because I don't have expression. I have persuasion.
Oh, okay.
Charm. So if I could do that.
So wait, does that mean that this is a chance die for that skill? If there's no successes and a failure?
I believe it is for the skill,
Because
yeah.
you don't have any dots.
Yeah. So there we go.
Maybe.
This is a charm roll. Is it a charm roll?
Wait, don't use my dice. Don't use my dice. My dice.
That's really true.
Unless I'm misunderstanding that mechanic.
So you only roll a chance die if your dice pool is reduced past 0.
Got it. Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
So if you've been penalized down to the point where you have
Sure.
no dice and you still need to take a chance.
Got it. Okay.
That's
Like
when
if
you
I
make
need to make a defense roll.
Right.
it. Correct.
Oh no.
So,
No, buddy.
Cripple merits.
I'm going to say this is going to be. I'm gonna make.
I am
this.
actually doing a charm offensive, to be fair, but
Yeah.
I understand expression.
So, you are writing something. So I'm going to say it's an expression.
That's
check.
fair.
It's expression.
That's fair.
Super
fair.
And it's how to channel your charm into the words that
Absolutely.
you're sending. So,
Oh.
the difficulty is going to be rough though.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to set the difficulty at 3.
Do I get the term specialty in an expression even though I'm not using my persuasion skill?
Can I
I'm
assist?
really trying to help my friend here.
I would like to assist with my specialty in social media.
I would totally let that click in.
Ooh,
yes.
there we go. All right.
And if you
Let's do it.
Use more emojis.
I'm going to give you an option too. If you want to spend a willpower point,
Yeah.
I will give that to Sam.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
All
This
right.
is very important to
Yes.
So
me.
This is
that's
very
typically not how willpower is used, but you know,
Yeah.
all my
All right.
experiences and sharing momentum and
go.
cipher and all this other stuff. So go ahead and make your
Darren.
roll difficulty as 3.
So the good news is we're okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
yes.
5 off the bat before explosions.
So exceptional
excuse me.
success.
Excellent.
Ooh, also.
God.
Sorry, that's 6 off the bat
Oh,
before
That's
explosions.
a critical success. So
Yeah.
you don't even need to count anymore unless you want to. Because
How
I'm,
about-
I'm
See
seeing
how many explosions
4
we get.
10s. So 7
There we
successes.
go, 7. I want. Look, if there's
All right.
one thing I, a venture capitalist, know how to do, it is how to make apologize that sound sincere.
So here's the thing. It's the internet and
Yeah.
1.5 million people. Now, they brought up an excellent point.
Hmm.
The truth is you behaved very poorly.
I did, huh?
and her going onto the internet and calling you out, half the people will have the right, half the people will be like very disappointed in you. Half the people are just going to show up because they don't know who the hell you are, but if a tar and feathering is happening, they want in on that, which will invite trolls, which will invite,
Yeah.
and before long, you're going private, you're going underground, and your social media career is dead.
And we lose our leads.
Yeah. So as you're sitting here just watching them type this, your mind is immediately going to all of these places of like, oh my God, I'm going to be in 30 seconds.
I feel
I'm
like
a pariah.
This is the only time that I have more anxiety than Lucky Rabbit's foot. So I glance down. How is this affecting you?
Rabbit's foot looks concerned for you. Like, he's looking up at you. He's looking up at you. And he's tapping his chin like this, almost like in a gesture of like, are you okay? Kind of like staring up at you. Obviously, a Geist of his age, you're not even sure he would understand what a cell phone is.
Right.
So he's kind of staring up at you concerned, and you can see wide eyes. Like the child behind the mask understands that you're afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, should I be afraid? Kind of like looking at you for like, is everything okay?
And I want to feel like everything's okay, but it's not.
Yeah. And then they pass your phone back to you.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things you see. First, it's the notification that $1,100 has been transferred to your account,
Whoa, okay.
which is the price of one of the newest, highest upgraded, customizable iPhones that you can get engraved.
Okay.
And then a message, as they wrote, calling yourself out, apologizing for the behavior, with a little bit of dash. With that many successes, a dash of being a medium sometimes makes you vulnerable to certain energies, and I think there is an anxiety. Just like you read 2 paragraphs of sheer genius, and immediately like feel confident hitting send.
Oh yeah.
Beep. Okay, you hit send, and the moment you hit send, you realize you have just entered into the zone between texts. That horrible place that exists
Give it
between
back.
time.
Give it back now. You don't need to stare at this.
That terrible void between risk-taking in text and waiting for a result of risk-taking in text.
I also take it back because I realized in like the 3rd paragraph I absolutely forgot to fix that typo.
It autocorrects, you stupid bitch. And oh my God, and you hide it. So you read back and you wait.
Yep. I just need him to stare at it. We're going back inside.
And you wait.
It
We're
smells
doing
so
other
bad in
things.
there.
Yep, and you'll be focusing on how terrible that is.
Okay.
Yeah, sensory things.
Mhm.
The phone begins to ring.
Oh!
There you go.
Who is it? I don't want to see.
You see Bindi Becca's name on the...
You need to
Caller
answer this.
ID.
I cannot Cyrano de Bergerac this one for you.
Okay, I get that. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
It's really hard to make this call. I feel like I was really rude to you.
Oh, not at all. Oh no, it was totally on me. I'm sorry I wasn't able to control the overwhelming spirits. And it was dangerous. And so my concern was your safety.
Sorry, I got distracted. There are adorable quadrupeds in this room.
Oh.
Hi, doggies. I will never. This is one thing we didn't get to have at GNS is adorable quadrupeds.
Yeah.
Okay, so she.
What am I, chopped liver?
You
No,
see.
sorry.
You see. There's a pause as you kind of. You hear. I really appreciate that. I feel really bad because the thing is, it's like it's really scary when you. I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, but when you reach like. I hate saying this, but when you reach like a certain level on social media, all of a sudden like things begin to change and people start treating you differently, and people come out and it just things get really weird, and then you have to become this asshole sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, I understand.
Like when I'm walking on the floor at a con and I just want to be really nice to everyone, but there's like 20 people. Like I don't know if you've ever done that, but like everyone is so sweet, and then you have to tell them to back off, and then you feel like such an asshole for the rest of the day, and then someone makes a Reddit post, and then it gets traction, and she starts carrying on and on and on. You can hear this like
I
And then-
can hear her.
Yeah.
And then a few minutes later, like
Uh-huh.
she comes back. She's, I'm sorry, I'm doing anxious talk right now.
It's okay.
I'm like rambling. I just what I'm trying to get to is I just feel really bad.
I'll move.
Yes.
Thank you. I got the money you sent. That is so nice. You
Yeah.
didn't have to do that.
Well, I'm sorry to have put you in that position and made you feel that way.
I'm gonna, if it's cool with you, I'm gonna send the money back. I really appreciate that you sent it. It really meant a lot to me. It's a great gesture of sincerity. Let's meet up again for coffee sometime.
Yeah.
And we won't go back to a creepy haunted place, but I would love to hear more about like what you do, if that's
Yeah.
cool. If that's cool with you,
It would be an honor.
it would. I really am excited that we can make things right. Like, and I appreciate that you do things that a lot of people probably make fun of, and
Yeah.
that it's actually really cool and really important, and I believe in it. And I'm sorry I overreacted.
Well, I will be happy to tell you that you are no longer in danger. So,
Oh, God. Well, thank you. I'm happy you told me that too.
yeah, we are able to take care of.
And neither are you. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to make light. You were never in danger. I was not. I'm sorry. That's a terrible joke. It was probably because I know I probably sent you into an anxiety spiral. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm a professional.
Yeah, there's a tugging sensation on your pant leg from the Geist at your. She says, "Okay, well, I tell you what. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Everything is totally cool between us if you're cool with it, and I promise I will never do that again. I will always talk to you first. I will never lose my temper like that again. I feel like we kind of bonded. Do you feel like we've kind of bonded?
I feel that way too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, of course.
Well, if you need anything, just call me anytime, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk to you.
You too.
I'm gonna give you a shout out tonight. Is that cool?
You don't have to feel obligated.
No. You were great today, and I really appreciate your
Okay.
text. I'm gonna give you a shout out tonight.
Sure.
It's my pleasure, really.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I feel so much better.
Oh, me too.
I feel so much better. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
well, me too.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sure. Yes.
Okay, have a good night. Thank you again.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay.
But Miss Lily.
Miss Lily is quirking an eyebrow and looking at you like she doesn't understand what you did, but you seem so pleased with yourself, and she's kind of like, You walk back into the room filled with the scent of alcohol.
I've been burning sage and everything.
This
now.
place is pretty much
Alcohol
clear.
and sage.
It's cleaned up.
Yeah.
It's cleaned.
That's
I
an
got my little
aroma.
vial. I'm very excited about it. Gonna talk to my diary about it. Do you need help with the burning? How do our
smudge.
Geists react to sage? Do they react at all?
No,
Good question.
they do not.
Okay.
What
Not
about
react at all.
Darren?
Oh,
Oh wait.
Darren's gone.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen
look
any of
a
the
fighter,
other
remember?
ghosts? Yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember that.
None of the other ghosts seem to react to the sage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, sage for the most part is to get rid of bad vibes and
Sure.
and like cleanse the place. So
Well, it would be a tell if someone was reacting then, wouldn't it?
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Well, Ivy does react to just setting things on fire. It's
Sure.
not their favorite.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
But they're like
I did
all
it
the
while
way
they
over
were-
here,
while
and
they
it's
were
not
outside.
a thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's fine.
fine.
So a few things happen as you all get back into the room. At this point, the sun has begun to set over San Francisco, so it's getting darker outside. And there's a moment of just like everyone just kind of makes eye contact with each other as your Geists are all hovering about. It's been a day. It's been a really interesting day. A few moments pass, and before you can open your mouth to to say something, your phone begins to buzz.
My phone.
Yes.
Do I see the number?
Yeah. Have any of you guys had the experience where you've tweeted something and Mercer liked it, and then all of a sudden your phone starts beeping a lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you do is
I
you look at your phone and you just see a red number on your Twitter handle,
Yeah.
and it's going up.
Notifications off now.
Whoa, I've never had to do that before.
And you watch it as you switch off the notifications.
I secretly switched them back on and put it in my pocket.
Addict. So as you switching them back on, there's that moment of quiet where you're regarding each other when your phone begins to ring.
Finally, it's been half an hour. Hello?
Hello, this is Michelle.
Oh, Michelle, lovely to hear from you.
Hi, I got your voicemail. Were you a potential student?
I have a friend with me who is interested. I was calling on her behalf. Do you have any availability? I know we're free this afternoon. That might be a little soon for you.
A little soon for me, but I am free tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon? What time do you think that would be?
6:30 would probably work best for me.
Ooh, that cuts it. Oh, I can't hear this.
6:30. Do you maybe have 6?
I could probably do 6, yeah.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And what is the name of the student?
Betha Kravina Harris.
Okay, and their pronouns?
She, her.
Okay. And do they have any experience? Has she played piano before?
I believe she's a beginner, but very interested, very motivated.
Great.
Adult beginner.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, great. I'd be happy to see her tomorrow. I'll just do an assessment. So this is kind of an awkward question, but I always have to ask so I can prep accordingly. How old is she? Is she a
adult beginner?
Adult beginner. Thank you. Writing this down. Great. Well, let me go ahead and send you my address. I'll text it to this number if that's
perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm happy to have a new client.
Thank you, Miss Carol. Have a good day.
You hang up, and text comes through.
Alarm touches the phone front. You have an appointment tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Pianos?
Yes.
And again, as you see that, as you hear the word piano, you could swear you could hear a certain piano song in the distance, playing melodically, emphatically. In fact, the name of it is on the tip of your tongue, and you can't think of it. And as you glance over at Bo, you notice something you've never noticed on Bo before. But you notice some tension in his shoulders. You kind of follow your gaze as he's just looking straight ahead with a furrowed brow, kind of glancing at the ground. But as you glance down, something, for some reason, maybe it wasn't like this before, but something you notice is the fingers on Bo's right hand, the pinky finger is missing. It's cut off at the knuckle. And he's doing this, like he's playing an invisible keyboard. And you can hear the keys in the distance. And that is actually where we have to wrap up tonight.
Oh,
okay.
Xander, who is familiar with Japanese culture,
I know what's
Yep.
instantly knows what, getting a sense of what Bo's story might be.
Yep. Oh my god, I think I know.
Yep.
Too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right.
Tragedy is definitely one way to become a ghost.
Yeah.
So that wraps up our second session of 6 of Before the Gates. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight on this little spooky adventure as we continue to unfold the mystery as to Darren and Michelle and the mystery of, well, Boogie. Figure out what's going on. Catch us back here. You can catch us back here at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on Friday nights, same as tonight. And unless there's anything else, we will see you guys next Friday night. Everybody, have a wonderful and safe, happy Halloween.
Halloween.
Have a wonderful time. Definitely check our social medias. And for those of you, too, who would like to support the channel, you're going to be seeing a lot of our faces coming to QueueTimes over the next few months. And some content that we are hoping you're going to be very excited to see. So thank you so much for those who have joined. I'm not saying anything else. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and for showing up tonight. We know you have a lot of great shows that you can watch out there, and we really appreciate you joining our audience. Until the next time, my friends, stay spooky.